Chapter 999. There were a total of 3,000 tribes in the Great Bay clan, and they had been living in the inner region of the Holy Region for generations. The Tamu tribe was only one of the weaker ones among them. There were a total of 108 ancient tablets at the border of the inner region, and all of them were engraved with the saints' inscriptions. These 108 ancient tablets would often be rotated and guarded by the weakest tribes. For example, the Tamu tribe would change every 1,000 years, and it was their turn to guard one of the ancient tablets. The reason why only the weak tribes were made to guard the tablets was because no one had ever been able to remove the saints' inscriptions, and no tribe had ever been able to obtain any benefits from the ancient tablets. Guarding was just a formality without any meaning or benefits. It was only a way for the future generations to remember their ancestors. As such, only the weakest tribes were needed to be the coolies. Every 10,000 years, the Holy Region would open once. This was also the time period that the Great Bay clan hated the most. Every time this time came, there would be some extremely daring foreign clan cultivators who would try to enter the inner region and set foot on the holy land of the Great Bay clan in search of treasures. There were even some extremely daring foreign clan cultivators who would attack the saints' inscriptions. They didn't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Without the permission of the saint, how could the first and second step cultivators touch the saints' inscriptions? Every time the Holy Region opened, there would be foreign clan cultivators who would be killed by the saints' inscriptions. There would also be some true immortals with higher divine abilities who wouldn't be killed by the saints' inscriptions, but they would be severely injured. Very few people could escape unscathed from the saints' inscriptions. Even if they were lucky enough to survive, they would often be intimidated by the might of the saint, and it might even leave a shadow in their cultivation for the rest of their lives. Tagri was the patriarch of the Tamu tribe, and also the person with the highest cultivation base in this generation. His cultivation base had reached the middle stage of the crossing truth realm, and he could be considered as one of the few true immortal old monsters in the surrounding Great Bay tribe. Today, as usual, he led a portion of the tribe members to cultivate in the underground cave residence, and carried out the duty of guarding the place that was rotated once every 1,000 years. As a true immortal old monster, he had to carry out the most boring task of guarding the place, and was not allowed to leave his post. This made Tagri feel extremely sullen, but he had no choice. Who asked his Tamu tribe to be weaker than others? In the tribe competition that was held once every 1,000 years, the Tamu tribe had already lost to the tribes of the southern region 12 times in a row, and was ranked at the bottom. Weak tribes had to do the coolies without any complaints. This was the rule of the Great Bay tribe. In other words, the Tamu tribe had been continuously at the bottom amongst the surrounding few tens of tribes for 12,000 years. Outsiders claimed that the Tamu tribe was the weakest wolf in the southern region's prairie. This caused many men of the Tamu tribe to be unable to raise their heads in front of outsiders. As the leader of the weakest tribe, Tagri also felt ashamed. Fortunately, the time for guarding the holy monument was almost up, and the next tribal competition was about to begin. Everyone was waiting to see the 13th ranking of the Pagoda Wood tribe. This caused Tagri to feel even more suffocated in his heart. For the sake of this grand competition, Tagori had made ample preparations. He didn't even hesitate to shamelessly borrow a few powerful magical treasures from a few of his old friends. In this grand competition of the tribes, he wouldn't allow the Tamu tribe to be at the bottom again. He wanted to lead the Tamu tribe to break away from the fate of being the weakest in the southern border. He had been waiting confidently for the arrival of 1,000 years. However, he did not expect Ningfan and the others to appear at this crucial moment. Moreover, they coveted the holy monument. Damn it! Was it the opening of the sanctuary that happened once every 10,000 years? This group of murderous alien cultivators. According to the rules of the despicable tribe, if the tribe guards the holy monument due to their negligence, and allow the birds and beasts to touch the holy monument, they would be punished with a light crime and be sentenced to 1,000 years of guarding the monument. If they allow the cultivators of the foreign races to touch the holy monument, they would be punished with a heavy crime. The clan leader would have 10% of his cultivation base crippled, and 1,000 members of the tribe would be sacrificed to the Buddha. Those were the heaviest crimes among the heaviest crimes. Therefore, when Tagri found out that Ning Fan and Old Wu wanted to touch the saints' inscriptions, he felt a chill run down his spine. If they really let the two of them touch the holy monument, Tagri did not dare to imagine the consequences. Not only would he have 10% of his cultivation base crippled, but the most important thing was that the Tamu tribe, which did not have a lot of members, would have 1,000 good men sentenced to death for their crimes. At such a critical moment, even though they knew that Ning Fan and Old Wu had the terrifying cultivation base of an ancient immortal venerate, Tagri and the other cultivators who guarded the holy monument still decided to take action. Unfortunately, the result was obvious. With their insignificant abilities, they could not stop Ning Fan and the others at all. You all can't touch this monument. Even if I, Tagri, die in battle today, I will protect this monument. Tagri gritted his teeth and said in a tough tone. According to the rules of the Debay tribe, if the tribe leader dies for the sake of guarding the monument, the other members of the tribe would be pardoned for their negligence of duty and be exempted from the punishment of killing 1,000 people. Tagri had also thrown caution to the wind. If he really could not stop Ning Fan and the others from touching the holy monument today, he would not regret dying in battle here. At least, he could protect the lives of 1,000 men in the tribe. Humph! The people of the prairie never lacked courage. Why would they hesitate to fight? Even if the other party was an ancient immortal venerate, he was an existence that he must look up to. Ning Fan's slightly cold eyes softened. According to his personality, if he was ambushed, he would retaliate no matter how strong or weak the opponent was. However, what he did not expect was that this Duzhen cultivator of the Debay tribe in front of him seemed to have a backbone. He was willing to die in battle just to protect the holy monument. Recalling Zhang Yu's reminder that it was not advisable for him to become enemies with the Debay tribe during this trip, Ning Fan's eyes calmed down. He gently waved his hand and restrained Old Wu, not allowing him to touch the cultivators of the Debay tribe in front of him. Who are you people? Why are you stopping me from collecting these words? Ning Fan asked indifferently. He did not continue to collect the saints' words. Firstly, it was because he realized that the people of the Debay tribe in this place seemed to be extremely averse to this kind of behavior. If he really becomes enemies with the Debay tribe for the sake of collecting the saints' words, it would be disadvantageous for him during this trip. Jiuli's adulthood was of utmost importance. Compared to this matter, the saints' words were not that important anymore. Secondly, Ning Fan had also probed the strength of the holy monument the moment he took action. As a matter of fact, even though he had yet to finish collecting the saints' words, he sensed an extremely dangerous qi from the holy monument the moment he took action. That level of danger had even exceeded the current defense of the God Extermination Shield. Moreover, it was still increasing as time passed by. These saints' words were too terrifying. It was definitely not something he could collect with his current strength. If he forcefully collects them, even though he would not suffer too much damage, he would only return empty-handed. Of course, if it was not because he was worried about the mood of the people of the Debay tribe, Ning Fan would still be willing to give it a try. Seeing that Ning Fan and the others did not continue to collect the saints' words, and did not plan to attack the Tamu tribe, Tagri and the others heaved a sigh of relief. Tagri took a step forward, and stood in front of the group of cultivators of the Tamu tribe. He politely greeted Ning Fan. I'm Tagri, the leader of the Tamu tribe of the Debay tribe. Greetings to my friends who have come from afar. Guarding the holy monument is our duty. If we have offended you in any way, please forgive us. Tagri's attitude was very humble. Even though the Debay tribe was xenophobic, it would be a different story if the other party was an immortal venerated being of the past. After all, even in the Debay tribe, immortal venerated beings of the past were also rare experts. Unless Tagri himself was also an immortal venerated being of the past, he would be an idiot to offend Ning Fan and the others. While speaking, Tagri secretly observed the expressions of Ning Fan and the others. When he saw that they did not have any doubts about the word Debay, he could not help but feel moved. It seems like these few foreign cultivators have heard of the Debay tribe before. They are not the visitors who know nothing about the Debay tribe. Since it's our duty, we indeed can't say that we have offended you. On the contrary, we were the ones who acted recklessly. We didn't know that this monument is the sacred relic of your tribe. If we touch this monument, I'm afraid that you guys, as the guardians of the monument, will not be able to bear the consequences. Ningfan noticed the cold sweat on the foreheads of Tagri and the others and made a guess. That's right. Fortunately, you guys didn't touch the sacred monument. Otherwise, many men of our Tamu tribe would have died because of your actions. You will also be hunted down by us, the 5 emperors of the Debay tribe, because of this crime. You definitely won't be able to walk out of the Supreme Pill Sacred region alive. A few burly men of the Tamu tribe who looked like hotheads shouted angrily. Shut up. In front of the immortal venerated being of the past immortal venerated beings. How can you be so presumptuous? Tagri was so scared that his soul almost flew out of his body. He scolded the burly men of the Tamu tribe behind him. The men of the Debay tribe were born to be straightforward. Therefore they were slightly weaker in terms of scheming and worldly wisdom. In short, there were many hotheads among the cultivators of this tribe. When they are infuriated, there would even be some low-level cultivators who would dare to scold an immortal king in front of him. Of course, this did not mean that there were no cultivators in the Debay tribe who were sensible. For example, Tagri was definitely not a hothead. Previously, he did not hesitate to attack Ningfan and the others in order to guard the monument. Now that there was room for reconciliation between both sides, of course, Tagri would not allow his tribe members to offend Ningfan again. After being scolded by Tagri, the remaining cultivators of the Tamu tribe no longer dared to speak carelessly. However, there were still many of them who were glaring at Ningfan with fury in their eyes. The divine ability that all of you used just now should be the battle soul technique, right? Ningfan did not care about the rudeness of the burly men, and changed the topic. That's right. What we used just now was indeed a type of combined soul technique. It can be performed by many people to increase the power of the divine ability. The cultivators of my Debay tribe are basically born with medicine souls. What we cultivate is the medicine soul divine ability. Be it men or women, young or old, all of us are basically pill refinement masters. Tagri sounded rather proud. In this world, how many tribes could be born with medicine souls? Not many. Not many at all. The Debay tribe was one of the few. As a cultivator of the Debay tribe, they deserve to be proud of it and feel honored to be a cultivator of the Debay tribe. Can cultivators from other tribes like us walk freely in the inner area of the holy region? Ningfan changed the topic again. To be honest, the inner area of the holy region is the holy land of my Debay tribe. If it's a low-grade cultivator from another tribe, it's absolutely impossible for him to enter the holy land of my tribe. Once he or she enters, he or she will be expelled by my tribe if the punishment is light. If the punishment is severe, he or she will be sentenced to death. However, if a true immortal realm expert enters, it's a different story. As long as he or she performs 3 merits, receives 6 punishments and observes 12 prohibitions, he or she will be able to walk freely in the inner area. If he or she disobeys, he or she will still be expelled by the experts of my tribe. Tagri said carefully, afraid that the 3 merits, 6 punishments and 12 prohibitions that he mentioned would arouse the disgust of Ningfan and the others. Ningfan and the others indeed frowned. 3 merits, 6 punishments and 12 prohibitions? It seems like outsiders will be subjected to a lot of restrictions when they enter the inner area. I'm afraid they will lose a lot of freedom. No one would be willing to be restricted for no reason. Be it Ningfan or Old Wu. Both of them were the kind of people who would never allow themselves to be at a disadvantage. As an immortal emperor, Zhongyu was even more unwilling to be restricted. Thinking of this, Zhongyu first let out a soft snort. When she was at her peak in the past, she had to force her way into the inner area of the holy region every time. Because of that, she would always be besieged by the immortal emperors of the Debay tribe. Unfortunately, she was no longer at the peak of her cultivation base in the past. She no longer had the qualifications to act recklessly in this place. Little thief, we can't act as we please when we enter the inner area this time. We must accept the restrictions of the Debay tribe. Otherwise, this trip will become extremely difficult. Besides, if we accept the restrictions of the Debay tribe, we can also avoid many dangers and obtain a certain degree of protection from them. There are quite a number of ferocious creatures in the inner area. Zhang Yu sighed and advised Ning Fan through telepathy. She was afraid that Ning Fan was young and impetuous and could not accept the restrictions of others. However, she did not expect Ning Fan to not care about the many restrictions of the Dabei tribe. Even though he was unwilling to do so, for the sake of Jiu Li's adulthood, as long as it did not violate his principles, he could give in a little. May I ask what the 3 merits, 6 punishment and 12 restrictions of your clan refer to? Ning Fan asked calmly. The 3 merits refers to the fact that every foreign cultivator who enters the inner area must perform 3 human rank battle merits for our Dabei tribe. Everyone, don't worry. There are immortal venerables among you. Human rank battle merits are as easy as flipping your hand to all of you. The 6th punishment. Tagri paused and looked at Ning Fan cautiously. Seeing that Ning Fan did not have much aversion to the word punishment, he continued. The 6th punishment refers to the foreign cultivators who must receive 6 damaging punishments from our clan. This punishment cannot be avoided, but it can be substituted. It will be calculated according to the number of people, excluding pets. There are 4 of you and you will have to receive a total of 24 punishments. With the cultivation base of the 2 ladies, I'm afraid that they will suffer some injuries and damage their foundation. However, if the 2 of you are immortal venerables, it will not be difficult for you to receive the damaging punishments. Ning Fan frowned slightly, but he did not say anything. Seeing this, Tagri heaved a sigh of relief and continued. The 12 restrictions refers to the 12 prohibitions that our Dabei tribe has against foreign cultivators. Don't worry. They are just some of the most basic prohibitions. As long as you don't do anything that infringes on the interests of our Dabei tribe, basically, you won't be subjected to any punishment. Tagri then explained the content of the 12 restrictions in detail. He was not stupid. These people in front of him were obviously people who had ulterior motives towards the inner area. They would certainly enter the inner area. The only difference was whether these people would enter by force or follow the rules. If they enter by force, their lives would be in danger. However, if they follow the rules, Tagri would welcome Ning Fan and the others to enter the inner area. Excluding outsiders also depends on who you are excluding. If Ning Fan and the others enter the inner area, at this moment, Tagri already had a different thought. After confirming that Ning Fan and the others would indeed follow the rules, he would then make a bold decision. He wanted to be the guarantor of Ning Fan and the others in the name of the clan leader of the Tamu tribe. Even though there are only 4 people in this group, 2 of them are immortal venerables of the 10,000 ancient era. If I vouch for them, they will certainly be placed under the name of my Tamu tribe. In that case, I can use the identity of the clan leader of the Tamu tribe to invite the 4 of them to participate in the grand competition of my tribe. Humph. If my tribe has immortal venerables of the 10,000 ancient era, even if these few people have been punished and their cultivation bases are limited, they definitely won't be at the bottom of the grand competition. I'm afraid they can even get an extremely good ranking. Thinking of this, Tagri became more enthusiastic towards Ning Fan and the others. After confirming that Ning Fan and the others would abide by the rules, Tagri was even more overjoyed and told them about the guarantor system of the Tamu tribe. In other words, if we want to enter the inner area, we must join any of the tribes of your clan in name? Ning Fan asked with surprise. That's right. Even though you have 2 immortal venerables of the 10,000 ancient era, if you are punished, your cultivation base will certainly be greatly limited. The cultivation base that you can display will probably not exceed the Shedding Void realm. If you join other tribes, the other tribes will at most treat you as Shedding Void realm, but they won't treat you too courteously. After all, in most of the tribes of my Tamu tribe, there is no lack of Shedding Void realm guardians. However, my Tamu tribe is different. Our tribe doesn't have Shedding Void realm guardians. If you join my Tamu tribe, I, Tagri, can guarantee that we will never humiliate foreign cultivators like the clan leaders of other tribes. We will certainly treat you with the highest degree of courtesy. Tagri promised solemnly. Ning Fan was inwardly surprised. He did not know that a cultivator's cultivation base would be restricted after receiving the 6 punishments, and they would not be able to display the full strength of the Shedding Void realm guardians. Tagri did not explain it in such detail just now. Moreover, he did not know that if they join other tribes, they might also be humiliated by them. The cultivators of the Tamu tribe are all made of muscles. They are not friendly to outsiders. There are very few cultivators who treat outsiders with courtesy like Tagri. They are also very unreasonable. It doesn't seem to be accurate to put it this way. In short, after you come into contact with the cultivators of the Tamu tribe, you will know that the dullness of most of the cultivators of the Tamu tribe is far beyond your imagination. As for the 6 punishments, you don't have to worry about it. The so-called restriction of cultivation base actually doesn't have much of an impact. As for the specific reason, you will know about it later. Zhang Yu secretly transmitted his voice to Ningfan. You mean we are going to join the Tamu tribe just like that? Ningfan asked through telepathy. If we join such a weak tribe, we can receive enough attention and courtesy. Zhang Yu answered. All right. You know a lot about the inner area. I will listen to you. Ningfan pondered for a moment and agreed to Tagri's invitation. After discussing some details, they officially entered the inner area of the holy region with the Tamu tribe as their guarantor. This time, Tagri had been guarding the sacred monument for almost 1,000 years. There was less than a month left until the grand competition between the tribes. According to the rules, they could already leave this place and prepare for the grand competition. There was no need for them to guard the sacred monument anymore. This also meant that there would be a period of time when the guards of the sacred monument would be absent for the next few days. During this period, if anyone touches the sacred monument, the Tamu tribe would not be held accountable. After Ningfan agreed to join the Pagoda Wood tribe, Tagri had secretly told him about this. If you really can't forget about the sacred monument, you can secretly go and check on it during the period of time when the guards are absent. As long as you act discreetly and don't get discovered by my tribe, it will be fine. Sure enough, Tagri knew how to conduct himself. If it was any other muscular and burly man of the Tamu tribe, he would certainly not say something like this. Thank you for the reminder. Ningfan accepted Tagri's goodwill. He also hoped to maintain a good cooperative relationship with Tagri, the clan leader of the Tamu tribe, during his stay in the inner region. In this way, his trip should be a lot smoother. As they chatted along the way, Ningfan also obtained a lot of information from Tagri. For example, the area that he entered was a continent called the Southern Grassland in the inner region of the Holy Region. The inner region of the Holy Region was formed by tens of thousands of broken continents. Most of them were desolate and uninhabited. Spiritual qi was scarce. Only a few continents were suitable for living, and were inhabited by the cultivators of the Debay clan for generations. The Southern Grassland was one of them. There were 107 continents like the Southern Grassland, which coincided with the number of sacred monuments. Therefore, many cultivators of the Debay clan firmly believed that it was because of the existence of the 108 sacred monuments that the people of the Debay clan were able to preserve the 108 places to rest. On the Southern Grassland, there were a total of 35 tribes. The Tamu tribe was just the weakest among them. The rest of the tribes were basically guarded by Shikong. In another month's time, it would be the grand competition of the Debay clan. Each continent would hold a minor competition first. The weakest tribe would be punished to guard the monument for 1,000 years, while the strongest tribe could head to the continent of the Middle State and participate in the next round of the grand competition. As for the minor competition of the Southern Grassland, as long as you all put in a little effort, you will definitely not be the last place. You can forget about getting the first place. After the punishment, none of you will be able to get the first place in the Southern Grassland. What a pity. If you can get the first place, you will be able to participate in the grand competition of the Middle State. If you get a good ranking in the grand competition, you might even gain the favor of the 5 emperors of the Middle State and obtain great benefits. Forget it. I am already extremely satisfied that my Tamu tribe is no longer at the bottom. Humph. The evil goat tribe even said that they would be 3,000 points ahead of my tribe in this grand competition. Let's see who will be in the lead this time. While chatting with Ningfan, Tagri angrily told Ningfan about the current situation of the Tamu tribe. It also made Ningfan speechless. He did not expect that the Tamu tribe that he had joined was not only the weakest tribe in the southern grassland, but also the weakest tribe in the entire Debay clan. However, even the weakest tribe had a mid-Duzhen realm expert. Ordinary tribes all had Qigong realm experts. Most of the tribes in the middle stream basically had fragment sense realm experts. In the Debay clan, there were more than 70 tribes that had immortal venerables and 17 tribes that had immortal kings. On the surface, the Debay clan only had 5 immortal emperors who were the 5 emperors of the middle state. However, Tagri secretly told Ningfan a piece of shocking news. The immortal emperors of the Debay clan were not as simple as the 5 emperors of the middle state. There were only 5 emperors in the middle state. Every time an immortal king breaks through to the immortal emperor realm, he or she would be promoted to become one of the 5 emperors of the middle state. As for the 5 emperors who were pushed down, they would go to the most forbidden area of the Debay clan to cultivate and ignore the mundane affairs. With Tagri's status, he was not qualified to know how many immortal emperors there were in the Debay clan. However, he was certain that there were definitely more than 5 of them. It seemed like his decision to not fall out with the Debay clan as soon as he entered the inner area was really a correct one. Ningfan tried to find some information about the 9 raccoon sacrificial artifact. He was very tactful with his words. He did not mention the sacrificial artifact, but he could not even get any useful information. As expected, I can only find the 9 raccoon sacrificial artifact by myself. The Tamu clan was built on a grassland in the central region of the southern border. Different from the scene that Ningfan had imagined, the members of the Tamu clan did not live in underground caves. Instead, they lived in tents. They would only enter the caves when they were cultivating. As for their daily lives, they would stay in the tents. The Tamu clan did not have a large population. It only had around 30,000 members. This was related to the bloodline of the Debay clan. Most of the members of the Tamu clan were born with a medicine soul. However, it was extremely difficult for them to reproduce. Therefore, their clan could not be large. In the entire grassland of the southern border, there were only 15 clans that had more than 100,000 members. It had been 1,000 years since Tagri went out to guard the sacred monument. The guards of the Tamu clan who were wearing leather armor and long boots were having a conflict with a group of people outside the clan. At this moment, the chiliarch of the Tamu clan, Wuxia, was arguing with the young clan leader of the evil goat clan. I lost my Mo River Pearl the last time I came to your Tamu clan. What's wrong with me wanting to search the entire clan? Why are you stopping me from doing this? Xin Yuchun glared at Wuxia with a slightly domineering look. He was the dignified young clan leader of the evil goat clan. How dare a mere chiliarch like Wuxia talk back to him? How outrageous! What a joke! Everyone knows that my lord's Mo River Pearl is a treasure of the southern border. It can gather spiritual qi from all directions. If it's really in my Tamu clan, it will naturally trigger a change in the spiritual qi. The Mo River Pearl isn't here at all. My lord just wants to find an excuse to enter the medicinal pond of my Tamu clan and collect the medicinal essence of the pond, right? Now that the clan leader of my Tamu clan isn't here, you want to take the opportunity to bully my clan. Am I right? Wuxia said angrily. It was hard for this muscular man to actually understand Xin Yuchun's true intention. Xin Yuchun's excuse was really too lousy. Anyone could understand it. Of course, that was only for ordinary people. The cultivators of the Debay clan were mostly stupid. Not everyone could understand Xin Yuchun's true intention. What? The young clan leader of the evil goat clan actually has such an intention. He is coveting our 1,000-year medicinal essence. Some of the guards of the Tamu clan were astonished. I actually believed that he lost the Mo River Pearl. I even helped him look for it for half a day. Another Tamu clan member who had a low IQ said in shame. Lord Wuxia, I found the Mo River Pearl. I found it in my old mother's sheep pen. A Tamu clan member who looked even more stupid ran over at this moment while holding a stone that was about the size of a goose egg. That's a stone. There's even sheep dung on it. It can't even shine. What a bullshit pearl. Why are my subordinates so stupid? Wuxia felt a splitting headache. However, it wasn't a good time to reprimand his subordinate's stupidity. He could only argue with the young clan leader of the evil goat clan. Lord Xinyu-chun, I have seen through your scheme. Mu Ka roared in anger. What? You actually saw through the brilliant scheme that I spent 10 days to come up with. Xinyu-chun had an extremely shocked expression. It seemed like his intelligence wasn't that high. Actually, I had already received a report from my informant 3 days ago. He said that my lord would have such a plan. Otherwise, it would be hard to imagine that the loss of the pearl was just a pretense. This plan is indeed flawless, but it's a pity that God disposes. Your evil goat clan has a traitor. So Mu Ka wasn't that smart after all. What? There's a traitor in my clan who leaked my plan. Tell me, who is that traitor? Xinyu-chun was furious. Do you think I'm stupid enough to tell you who the traitor is? I will never tell you that the traitor is your cousin, Xinyu-zhu. Mu Ka didn't realize that he had let the cat out of the bag. Damn it. You actually didn't tell me. Wait, you said Xinyu-zhu just now. It's him, right? Xinyu-chun reacted. Mu Ka realized that he had let the cat out of the bag, and was instantly shocked. He quickly changed his words. No, I was just talking nonsense. It's not Xinyu-zhu. It's someone I don't know who told me. So it's not Xinyu-zhu. It's someone you don't know who told you. Xinyu-chun believed him. Then, if you have time, come to my clan and tell me who in our clan you don't know. I want to find the traitor that you don't know. Xinyu-chun ordered stupidly. I refuse. I am the 1,000-men commander of the Tamu tribe. I refuse to listen to your orders. What? You dare to refuse my orders? You. Xinyu-chun was furious. Just as he was about to explode, a shrewd evil goat tribe warrior secretly transmitted a message to remind him. Young tribe leader, don't forget our purpose of coming here. There's no need to waste time with Mu Ka. That's right. I actually forgot that we are here for the 1,000-year medicinal marrow. I forgot to transmit my voice and accidentally said it. The stupid Xinyu-chun forgot to transmit his voice and said his true purpose. Instantly, the Tamu tribe warriors were enraged. What did they hear? They actually heard Xinyu-chun admit that they were here for the 1,000-year medicinal marrow. What did the evil goat tribe warriors hear? Their young tribe leader actually wanted the 1,000-year medicinal marrow. Did they really think that their tribe leader was looking for the desert river pearl? They were all pigs. They were all pigs. You are really here for the 1,000-year medicinal marrow. Even if I, Mu Ka, die in battle today, I will not let you take away our tribe leader's medicinal marrow. Mu Ka and the group of Tamu tribe warriors all looked like they were ready to die. It was as if they were ready to die for the sake of protecting their tribe leader's medicinal marrow. As long as it is something that our young tribe leader wants, we will fight for it even if we have to die. Besides, we have Master Xieluan who is at the late stage of Duzhen. Let alone the fact that your tribe leader is not here. Even if he is here, so what? We will directly snatch it by force and carry out a raid. We can easily obtain the 1,000-year medicinal marrow. The group of evil goat tribe warriors roared one after another. They looked like they were loyal enough to die for their young tribe leader. With their stupidity, their loyalty was naturally not fake. Xinyu-chun secretly cursed his own stupidity in his heart. How could he forget that his tribe's strength was far stronger than the Tamu tribe? According to the tribe rules, tribes of the same continent were allowed to plunder each other. As long as they didn't kill anyone, they could plunder as they pleased. Plunder women and repairing resources were all allowed. Of course, married women were not allowed. This was the rigid rule of the great despicable tribe. I forgot. I am the dignified young tribe leader of the evil goat tribe. There is no need for me to spend 10 days to think of a peerless plan. I can just carry out a raid. In the name of the young tribe leader of the evil goat tribe, I will carry out a raid on your Tamu tribe. I will plunder all your resources, plunder all your unmarried women, plunder all your 1,000-year medicinal marrow, plunder all. Who dares to plunder my Tamu tribe's things? This was the roar of rage from Tagli, who had just returned, soaring to the heavens. He was furious. No matter how weak his Tamu tribe was, they shouldn't be so weak that they could be bullied by others. Could it be that this Xinyu-chun has forgotten that his Tamu tribe still has the corpse devil guards? If he uses them, even if the evil goat tribe sends out late true crossing realm experts, what can they do? They will only suffer heavy casualties and return without accomplishing anything, alright? I forgot. With this Xinyu Chun's brain, I'm afraid he has completely forgotten about the corpse devil guards of the Tamu tribe. Tagli was speechless. He had forgotten the fact that there were very few intelligent people in the entire Great Despicable tribe. Speaking of which, why didn't Muka and the others send out the corpse devil guards to guard the tribe when they were outnumbered? I forgot. With the intelligence of Muka and the others, I'm afraid they have also forgotten about this. It's really a conflict between a group of fools. Tagli glanced at Ning Fan and the others with a hint of shame, and descended outside the tribe. He clearly saw the strange expressions on their faces. Zhang Yu was the only one who seemed to be used to it, as if he was used to seeing the stupidity of the Great Despicable tribe. How embarrassing. This Great Despicable tribe is quite interesting. Ning Fan rubbed his chin and revealed a faint smile. The Great Despicable tribe is the descendants of the medicine slaves of that herb-gatherer saint. Their minds are incomplete, and it's caused by a man-made disaster. There's an ancient saying that 9 out of 10 cultivators of the Great Despicable tribe are pure. This is a saying that existed in our era. In the previous era, not everyone knew about it. In the current era, I'm afraid you haven't heard about it at all. Zhang Yu transmitted his voice to Ning Fan. Didn't you say that you don't know much about the Great Despicable tribe? Ning Fan said angrily. Why does it seem like I know everything now? I'm referring to the fact that I don't know much about the cultivators in the upper echelons of the Great Despicable tribe. The waters are very deep. Zhang Yu was a little worried. Then he changed the topic and said, you should just watch the show. I'm afraid this is your first time encountering such a conflict between fools since you started cultivating. The Great Despicable tribe is really strange. Of course, not every member of the Great Despicable tribe is like this. It's impossible for cultivators who can cultivate to the eternal ancient realm to be mentally handicapped. The others followed Tagli, and descended one after another. The foolish guards from both sides only glanced at Ning Fan's group once, and then ignored them. At this moment, both sides were in a dispute. They did not have the time to pay attention to Ning Fan's group at all. Even if they felt that Ning Fan's group's attire was strange, they did not have the time to ask. Today, the guards of the Towerwood tribe and the guards of the Evil Goat tribe must compete against each other. So it's Patriarch Tagli who has returned. You've come at the right time. Hand over your 1,000 years medicinal essence. Xinyu Chun's eyes flashed with cold light. Even though he was a fool, his temperament was the most ruthless and merciless. Since he had decided to shed all pretenses of cordiality with the Towerwood tribe, he would never show mercy. You want to snatch my medicinal essence? Don't even think about it. Tagli. Even though you are at the mid-true crossing realm, don't forget that we have a late true crossing realm cultivator here. If you know what's good for you, hand over the 1,000 years medicinal essence. Otherwise, don't blame me for being merciless. Xinyu Chun clapped his hands. Immediately, a fat cultivator wearing a monk's robe walked forward from behind him. Venerable Xieluan. Tagli's eyes narrowed. This person's cultivation base was at the late true crossing realm. In the grassland of the southern border, he was quite famous. Tagli, you are not a match for me. Our young master is a little weak, but our patriarch is not a fool. I know what you are thinking. Unfortunately, I'm afraid we can't use your corpse devil protector this time. Because my corpse devil protector has also been brought here. If you use it, we will also use it. Xieluan clasped his hands together. The entire ground suddenly trembled. Then, a crack suddenly appeared in the middle of the grassland, and a trace of black chi floated out from it. An extremely strong thought-fragmenting chi force immediately spread out from it. Is this the dead cultivator that I've seen in the forbidden area of the divine city? Old Wu's eyes narrowed slightly and fell into deep thought. This is a corpse devil that was killed by the medicine. A ray of green light flashed across Ning Fan's eyes. He saw the corrosive medicinal chi in the bodies of the corpse devils. There's no mistaking it. All of them were killed by the medicine and turned into corpse devils. It was a corpse devil that was exactly the same as the dead cultivators in the forbidden area of the divine city. Its 4 limbs were bound by chains and its body was surrounded by monstrous resentment. Countless exclamations resounded in the surroundings. No one had expected that Venerable Xieluan would actually bring the corpse devil protector of the evil goat tribe here. It was an early thought fragmenting corpse devil. Once the corpse devil makes its move, blood would certainly be seen, and there would be countless casualties. Xieluan, why didn't I know that you brought out the corpse devil protector? Xin Yuchun felt a burst of anger. This is the order of the clan leader. Xieluan felt helpless. If he told the young clan leader everything, wouldn't everything be leaked? Forget it. Since it's my father's order, I'll let it go. But remember, there won't be a next time. Xin Yuchun said coldly. Yes. Xieluan's back was drenched in cold sweat. Although Xin Yuchun was stupid, he was one of the best in the entire southern border in terms of ruthlessness. His aptitude for cultivation was also top-notch. This was also the reason why his father valued him and made him the young clan leader of the evil goat tribe even though he was stupid. After calming himself down, Xieluan threatened Tagri. Today's matter naturally doesn't need to use the corpse devils of both sides. Does clan leader Ta agree to this? That's right. This time, there really isn't a need to use the corpse devils. Tagri snorted coldly and turned his body slightly, revealing Ningfan and the others behind him. They are. Master Xieluan's eyes narrowed. Just by looking at the clothes of Ningfan and the others, he knew that they were cultivators from other clans. Since these people were brought here by Tagri, it was obvious that Tagri had decided to be the guarantor and recruit these people to temporarily join the Towerwood tribe, the extreme pill sacred region that only opens once every 10,000 years. Are these people the cultivators of the eastern heaven from the outside world mentioned in the legends? Since they were valued by Tagri, they shouldn't be too weak. Besides, they had yet to go through the 6 punishments. They must still have their original cultivation base. I must not be careless. Are you the leader of these people? Master Xieluan asked Old Wu Ba. Even though Old Wu Ba was a little ugly, he looked the most evil. Thus, he naturally gave people a strong feeling. On the other hand, Ningfan looked too gentle and refined. Zhang Yu and Ouyang Nuan were both women. Thus, they were naturally ignored by Master Xieluan. Me? I'm just a little loyal servant. This is the master. Your eyesight is a little bad, Junior. Old Wu Ba let out a cold snort. He took half a step back and stood behind Ningfan. Then, he looked at Ningfan respectfully with a flattering look. Master Xieluan frowned. A mere cultivator from the outside world actually dared to call him Junior. Then he looked at Ningfan doubtfully. This young man is so weak. How could he be the leader of this group of people? Unfortunately, his cultivation base was too low. He was only at the late true crossing realm. If Ningfan and Old Wu Ba deliberately concealed their strength, they naturally would not be able to see through his shocking cultivation base. Ningfan, on the other hand, could see that Tagri wanted to use their prestige to intimidate the cultivators of the evil goat tribe. Thus, he could achieve his goal of defeating them without any bloodshed. Currently, both parties were in a cooperative relationship. If he only wanted to borrow their prestige, he did not mind helping them. Release your aura force. You don't have to restrain it. Don't hurt anyone either. Ningfan gave Tagri a deep look and gave an order to Old Wu Ba. Old Wu Ba's body immediately trembled. He was the most loyal servant in the world. He would definitely carry out his master's orders faithfully. As soon as the aura force dispersed, an earth-shaking aura force swept across the entire grassland like a violent gale. The entire grassland of the Southern Territory was shocked. It was because they could feel an ancient aura force coming from the direction of the Towerwood tribe. 10,000 ancient immortal venerables. Master Xieluan's mouth and tongue trembled. He was standing too close to Old Wu Ba. Facing the aura force of Old Wu Ba directly was like an ant being pressed by Mount Tai. His entire body was in pain, and he found it hard to move an inch. It was unimaginable. Unimaginable. This time, the Towerwood tribe had actually recruited an immortal venerable cultivator from the outside world. If that was the case, not to mention the tribal grand competition, They would definitely return empty-handed in this battle for the medicine essence. This matter is over. My evil goat tribe was reckless. Master Xieluan gritted his teeth. He knew that the situation was not good. At this moment, all he wanted to do was to escape. Tagri let out a cold snort. Inwardly, however, he heaved a sigh of relief. Master Xieluan was willing to give up. This matter couldn't be more appropriate. Ningfan also did not pursue and attack the evil goat tribe. After all, he was just an outsider. It was their own business how the local tribes fought against each other. However, if he goes too far, it would easily cause the local tribes to suppress him. He wanted to befriend the Towerwood tribe, but he could not offend the other tribes too much. This was not his style. However, for the sake of his master, Ancient Chaos, he had to do this even if he was unwilling. No matter how stupid the cultivators of the evil goat tribe were, they knew that it was impossible for them to win against an ancient immortal venerables. Now all of them just wanted to leave this place. However, Xinyu Chun was unwilling to do so. His face was filled with uncertainty. He strode forward and pointed at Ningfan with a trembling finger. He seemed to be extremely agitated. Why you? He was so agitated that he could not speak a word. Is he extremely angry? Why is he so agitated? Master Xieluan cursed inwardly. His young clan leader is too stupid. If he insists on provoking Ningfan, it's not right. It's not right. Even if Ningfan is just an outsider and his cultivation base is unknown, no matter how weak he is, as long as he has an immortal venerables as his servant, he is definitely not in existence that the evil goat tribe can afford to offend. Young clan leader, we can't offend this person. Get lost. Get lost. Get lost. Of course, I know that this person can't be offended. Domineering. He's too domineering. Isn't this the reason why I, the young clan leader, have lived my entire life for such an awe-inspiring manner? With just a single word, an immortal venerable's servant appeared, shocking everyone and causing the weather to change. It's too domineering. I've decided. Plop. Xinyu Chun knelt in front of Ningfan. I want to acknowledge you as my master. I want to be like you. I want to live a glorious life. The evil goat tribe is too small. The grassland of the southern border is too small. I want to be like you and be domineering. Ningfan was stunned. Did someone just acknowledge him as their master? By a peerless idiot. Chapter 1000. Accepting a disciple? Ningfan's face revealed a strange expression. He really disliked accepting disciples. When he first stepped onto the path of cultivation, he took in 2 disciples in the field of Pil Dao. One of them was called Xueqing, and the other was called Yang Gu. They were both cultivators of the rain world. He had once taught the way of the sword to a child named Little Shirtu. When Big Dipper was seeking the Tao, he had spent many years with a youth named Run Li and passed on some of his insights to him. He had even given devil chi to 2 young girls from the devil race who had excellent aptitudes. However, in his entire life, he had never accepted a true disciple to inherit his Tao teachings. He didn't want to accept disciples. In the past, it was because the yin-yang transformation orthodoxy was too evil, and the Tao of techniques couldn't be easily passed down. Now there were even more reasons why he didn't want to accept disciples. He himself hadn't even thoroughly learned the chaotic ancient orthodoxy. So how could he have the qualifications to accept a disciple? The higher his cultivation base was, the more he felt that the Tao inheritance of the ancient chaos great emperor was broad and profound. To be able to fuse all the incompatible things in the world together. The concept behind this cultivation technique was truly terrifying. The divine, demon, devil, tribulation spirits, and other different bloodlines existed together because of the ancient chaos orthodoxy. The Black Star art, the Phoenix clan's Nirvana art, and the Undying bloodline were forcefully fused together because of the ancient chaos orthodoxy. The great Tao was vast and boundless. The higher one's cultivation was, the more insignificant they would feel. Ningfan's current mentality coincided with the words on the sacred steel of the great humble clan. Furthermore, didn't one need to look at the other party's character, cultivation, and aptitude when accepting a disciple? Wanting to acknowledge him as his master as soon as they met seemed a little rash. Thinking of this, Ningfan said with an expressionless face, I don't plan to accept a disciple in the near future. You should look for someone better. Xian Yu-chun was stunned, and he stood there in a daze, not knowing what to do. Did I reject him too directly and hurt this young man? Ning Fan thought to himself. 10 breaths passed. 20 breaths passed. 30 breaths passed. Xian Yu-chun suddenly asked blankly. Well, senior, may I ask what you mean by find someone better than me? I'm stupid and don't know much, so I don't understand. It means to look for another great teacher. Ning Fan smiled and explained. Ah, you don't want to be my master? I can give you many, many cows, sheep, gold, and many, many women. I really want to take you as my master. Xian Yu-chun gestured with his hands, meaning that he could give you many, many things. Cattle, sheep, gold, and silver. Are these useful to cultivators? As a matter of fact, he had already used his spirit sense to scan through the Tower Wood tribe just now. Many of the cultivators of the Tower Wood tribe loved raising cattle and sheep. They would even use the gold and silver coins of the mortal world in their transactions. He was not a cultivator of the despicable tribe. He had no interest in cattle, sheep, gold, and silver. As for women, he wasn't interested in low-grade cauldrons, and Xian Yu-chun wasn't able to give him a high-grade cauldron. Thus, he naturally wouldn't be tempted. I'm sorry. I think it's better for you to look for someone better. Ning Fan shook his head and led Ouyang Nuan and the others into the Tamu tribe. Xian Yu-chun, on the other hand, was dragged away by the cultivators of the evil goat tribe after feeling vexed and disappointed. Just like that, a storm was calmed down because of the arrival of Ning Fan and the others. In order to guarantee Ning Fan and the others' entry into the Tower Wood tribe, they needed to report to the Middle State. Thus, after Tagri thanked Ning Fan and the others for their help, he hurriedly contacted the tribes in the Middle State. He only sent Chiliarch Mu-ka to bring Ning Fan and the others to settle down in the Tower Wood tribe. The people of the Tower Wood tribe were also very xenophobic. However, after hearing that Ning Fan and the others had agreed to join the Tower Wood tribe, all of them became warm and hospitable. Chiliarch Mu-ka even took out the wine that he had kept in the cellar for many years and brought a group of his fallen armor guards to invite Ning Fan to eat and drink. The wine was ordinary wine while the meat was the cattle and sheep that the Tower Wood tribe reared. Old Wu and Zhongyu had already abstained from eating for many years. Thus, they were naturally too lazy to eat the wine and meat of the mortal world. Thus, they declined the invitation of the Tower Wood tribe. Ouyang Nuan also politely declined the invitation of the Tower Wood tribe. She did not want to drink and eat meat with a burly man who obviously had a low IQ. Ning Fan was the only one who accepted the invitation of the Tower Wood tribe. Even though he had an important mission to carry out on this trip, the information he obtained about the inner area was too little. He knew nothing about the location of the 9 civet sacrificial vessel. Thus, he naturally had the intention to gather some information from the Tower Wood tribe. The inner area was very strange. After entering this place, he still could not display his heaven-peering rain technique too far. It was as if it was being restricted by a tremendous force. Similarly, the treasure-searching compass was also being restricted. It was as if someone was deliberately interfering with it, causing Ning Fan to be unable to accurately sense the location of the sacrificial vessel. The person who interfered with it was at least an immortal Emperor Realm cultivator, or even higher. If that was not the case, it was certainly impossible for him to restrict his heaven-peering rain technique and treasure-searching compass to such an extent. The people of the Tower Wood tribe were very friendly and honest. Most of them knew that Ning Fan's cultivation base was extremely high, but they did not have much respect for him. Instead, they just treated him as a friend who came from afar. Most of the people of the Tower Wood tribe were stupid. Thus, Ning Fan could get a lot of information from them without using any special methods. Mu-ka, the Chiliarch, had the highest cultivation base among them. His cultivation base was already at the peak Ghost Profound Realm. Therefore, he was also the person who knew the most secrets in the entire tribe other than the clan leader. While burping, he placed his hand on Ning Fan's shoulder and told him the things that Ning Fan wanted to hear without showing any respect. There were tens of thousands of continents in the inner area of the Holy Region. Among them, only 108 continents were suitable for living, and the cultivators of the desolate continent lived there. As for the rest of the continents, they were called Grade 10 Ominous Domains by the people of the desolate continent. There were many ferocious creatures living in the ominous domains. There were the remains of ancient corpse devils, the relics of saints, ancient opportunities, and also the cultivators of the desolate continent who had rebelled and fled to the outer region to hide. According to the degree of danger, the place was divided into 10 grades. The higher the grade, the more dangerous it would be. The outer region is very dangerous. I heard that in the past 1,000 years, there was a great emperor of the Middle Province who entered the most terrifying Grade 10 ominous domain when he was searching for medicine in the outer region. As a result, he was severely injured. I heard that he was injured by a few immortal Emperor Realm Corpse Devils. TSK, those are immortal Emperor Realm Corpse Devils. I can't believe he actually encountered a few of them at the same time. Mu Ka's words made Ning Fan secretly shocked. When he saw the cultivators of the desolate continent living leisurely on the grassland, he initially thought that the inner area was not as dangerous as he imagined. However, he did not expect that the real danger was in the ominous domain where there were no people of the desolate continent. Even immortal emperors have to tread carefully in the Grade 10 ominous domain. I wonder if the sacrificial artifact of Jiuli is in the hands of the desolate continent, or is it in the vast ominous domain? Sacrificial artifact. I didn't know that there are high-grade magic treasures like sacrificial artifacts in the grassland. However, people can occasionally find some ancient sacrificial artifacts in the ominous domain. Sure enough, there's a great possibility that it's in the ominous domain. Ning Fan thought to himself. The great tribal competition that is held once every 1,000 years is about to begin again. I hope that I won't be at the bottom this time. Sigh. If I can win the first place in the minor competition of the southern border and get a good ranking in the Middle Province Grand Competition, I will be rewarded by the 5 emperors of the Middle Province. With me around, you probably won't be at the bottom, right? Ning Fan thought to himself. The spiritual herbs on the grassland have to pay tribute to the 5 emperors of the Middle Province once every 100 years. If you want to find precious spiritual herbs, you can only go to the ominous domain. The world there is vast and you can find all kinds of herbs there. By the way, foreign cultivators like you will most likely have to enter the ominous domain if you want to make 3 contributions. However, you only need to enter the first to the 3rd grade ominous domain at most, and it will be enough to complete the mission. It won't be too dangerous. I will go to the ominous domain sooner or later. Ning Fan thought to himself. Not everyone can enter the ominous domain as they please. All the ominous domains above the 7th grade have their own seals. If you want to enter, you must obtain a passage token from the 5 emperors of the Middle Province. There's such a restriction? Ning Fan was slightly surprised. After drinking to their heart's content, the simple and honest Tamu people left one after another. Ning Fan, on the other hand, returned to his own tent. Ouyang and the others were already waiting for him inside the tent. We have already joined the Tamu clan. What should we do next? The physical body that I'm looking for is located in the 10th grade ominous domain. The passage token to enter the 10th grade ominous domain is in the hands of the 5 emperors of the Middle Province. That is a seal set up by the saints. Without the token, we won't be able to enter at all with our current cultivation base. If I'm at my peak, I can go and fight with the 5 emperors of the Middle Province and forcefully ask for a key. However, I can't do that now. Zhongyu felt a little helpless. She was no longer at her peak. She could no longer act as insolently as she used to in the Dabian clan. This is indeed troublesome. However, I heard that the grand competition that is held once every 1,000 years in the Dabian clan is just around the corner. If we can get a good ranking in the grand competition of the Middle Province, we will be rewarded by the 5 emperors of the Middle Province. I wonder if we can use this to get a passage token. The minor competition in the grassland of the Southern Territory will be held 1 month later. The grand competition of the Middle Province will be held 3 months later. We can still make it in time. Ning Fan muttered to himself. There were too many uncertainties in this trip to search for the sacrificial artifact of the 9 raccoon. He was not sure if he could find the sacrificial artifact and make it mature. In the next few days, Ning Fan and the others were asked to stay in the Tamu clan. They were not allowed to go out at will. According to Tagri, there would be specialized people coming from the Middle Province later to execute the 6 punishments on Ning Fan, and the others to suppress their cultivation bases. After that, Ning Fan and the others could only move freely in the inner area. During the few days of waiting, Ning Fan had nothing to do. Thus, he observed the lives of the Tamu people. The people of the Tamu clan liked to rear cattle and sheep. They liked to trade with gold and silver. To cultivators, be it cattle or sheep, gold or silver, they were all useless things. However, the people of the Tamu clan liked these things. Ning Fan found their behavior a little incomprehensible. Almost all of the people of the Tamu clan were pill refinement masters. Moreover, Ning Fan had even seen a 6-year-old child in the Tamu clan whose medicine soul power had already reached the 4th revolution. A 6-year-old 4th revolution pill refinement master. If he is in the outside world, he would certainly be praised as a pill refinement genius that only appears once in 10 million years. However, in the Tamu clan, it seemed to be a common sight. The people of the Tamu clan were born with medicine souls. Among the 30,000 people in the Tamu clan, there were more than 100 of them who had attained the 7th revolution, and more than 10 of them had attained the 8th revolution. As a result, Ning Fan's mid-grade 7th revolution pill refinement technique did not seem outstanding in this place. On the other hand, after Ouyang Nuan displayed the chi of her 9th revolution medicine soul in front of the people of the Tamu clan, she was instantly worshipped as a deity by countless people of the Tamu clan. The people of the Tamu clan did not believe in the strong, but they believed in pill refinement grandmasters. Even Mu Ka and the other boorish fellows would put on a respectful look when they met Ouyang Nuan. They did not show any arrogance like they did when they were interacting with Ning Fan. The people of the Tamu clan are actually so respectful to the mistress. Even I don't get such treatment even though I'm an immortal revered in the ancient times. Old Wu felt a little upset. This is probably the custom of the Tamu clan. Ning Fan also realized that the people of the Tamu clan loved Buddha. Almost all of them had a medicine Buddha shrine in their homes. Some friendly people of the Tamu clan even wanted to give Ning Fan a statue of the medicine Buddha. It was the kindness of the people of the Tamu clan. Of course, Ning Fan would not refuse them in person. However, he did not worship the medicine Buddha behind their backs. Buddha and devil could not coexist. He could not hate Buddha, but he would not believe in Buddha. He could not learn the Buddha's submissive attitude. This was the difference between their daos. It was something that could not be changed. The people of the Tamu clan were indeed not smart. According to Zhang Yu, the ancestors of the people of the Tamu clan had become the medicine slave of some herb-gatherer saint, which caused their descendants to be mentally deficient. Old Wu looked down on the people of the Tamu clan the most. He randomly picked up a piece of mud and lied to the people of the Tamu clan that it was divine mud. As a result, it caused the people of the Tamu clan to fight over it crazily. A piece of mud could be sold for 200 pieces of medicine soul stones. Other than the clan leader Tagli, almost no one in the entire Tamu clan knew that Old Wu was lying. From this, it could be seen how low his intelligence was. Even though the people of the Dali clan loved to use gold and silver as their currency, most of them would collect medicine soul stones to cultivate and set up formations in their abodes. The usage of medicine soul stones was roughly the same as the immortal jade and Dao crystals in the cultivation world. This also provided Old Wu with endless possibilities to deceive others. He began to sell mud, stones, wool, withered grass. Anything that he randomly picked up from the ground could be sold to the people of the Tamu clan in exchange for medicine soul stones. In just a few days, Old Wu had earned 10,000 medicine soul stones. In this way, the time that Ning Fan and the others could stay in the sacred region could be extended. It's not good to deceive others like this. When Old Wu presented the medicine soul stones to Ning Fan, as if he was presenting a treasure, Ning Fan frowned slightly. He was not a good person. He had committed all kinds of crimes such as murder, arson, deception, and so on. However, it was somewhat inappropriate for him to deceive a group of people who had lost their minds, especially when these people of the Tamu clan were extremely friendly to him and treated him as a friend. If they are his enemies, it would not matter. "Oh, master, you are just too soft-hearted." These people of the Tamu clan are all fools. They are born to be deceived. Even if I don't deceive them, there will be others who will. Old Wu curled his lips. Why are you pretending to be a good person, evil star? When you are bad, you are much worse than me, little Wu Ba. The evil water in your stomach. TSK. Return the medicine soul stones that you have deceived them. But the cultivators of the despicable clan are different from us. They have lived here for generations, and have already adapted to the medicinal qi of this place. They can survive without the medicine soul stones. Unlike us, instead of giving these medicine soul stones to them, why don't you give them to us? Old Wu was a little reluctant. He had spent a lot of effort to deceive them. How much mud had he wasted? Then give them something that is equivalent to the value of these medicine soul stones. Consider it an equivalent exchange. In this way, we can exchange them for enough medicine soul stones, and make the best use of them. Ning Fan ignored Old Wu's protest and gave a forceful order. All right. You have the final say. Who wants you to be the master? Anyway, I have a lot of junk in my storage pouch. Just take out some true immortal realm magic treasures, and they will be priceless treasures to these people. Exchanging them for their medicine soul stones is not considered a loss to them. Facing Ning Fan's forceful order, Old Wu could only compromise. Sigh. After all, he was the most loyal servant in the world. As such, Old Wu collected more than 200,000 medicine soul stones for Ning Fan using the barter method. The Towerwood tribe was not a wealthy tribe. If it were those tribes that were rich, it would be normal for them to exchange for 1 million medicine soul stones. Other than Old Wu, there was another person who offered Ning Fan 200,000 medicine soul stones. The person who offered was the young clan leader of the evil goat tribe, Xin Yuchun. May Master be blessed. Master, you must be tired. Quickly sit here. Someone bring me some milk tea. Master, let me massage your legs. Master, I heard that you are collecting medicine soul stones. Consider this as a token of my respect. Ning Fan felt helpless. He had clearly rejected Xin Yuchun's request to be his disciple. Yet this fellow still came to him every day to meditate, acting like a filial son. I've said that I won't accept any disciples. Even if you insist on it, the result will still be the same. Ning Fan said with a frown. It's all right. I believe that I can definitely move you with my sincerity. Besides, I have contacts in the middle state. I can get the information that Master wants. Xin Yuchun was not completely stupid. At least he knew what Ning Fan wanted. Information? What kind of information can you get? Ning Fan's eyes narrowed slightly and asked. That depends on what Master wants to know. If it's information that is too obscure, I won't be able to get it. After all, even though Master Sa Yi is known to know everything under the heavens and the earth, it's extremely expensive to get some information from him. Xin Yuchun said helplessly. Master Sa Yi. Ning Fan murmured this name. He had heard about this person from Muka and the other Tamu cultivators. It was said that he was a powerful being in the great humble tribe who lived in the middle state. He was extremely good at divination. His cultivation base had yet to enter the eternal era, but he knew many secrets of the great humble tribe that even the 5 emperors of the middle state did not know about. He also had an incomparably deep understanding of the 10th grade ominous region. If I really can't find Jiu Li's sacrificial vessel, I wonder if it's necessary to ask this person. If it's just for information, there's really no need for me to accept another disciple. Ning Fan still shook his head and rejected Xin Yuchun's request to be his disciple. This gave Xin Yuchun a huge blow. When he arrived the next day, he eagerly came to ask Ning Fan to be his disciple again. He did have an indomitable personality even though his intelligence was slightly low. The news that the Tamu tribe had an eternal era immortal venerate external cultivator quickly spread across the entire grassland of the southern border. Many people guessed that the Tamu tribe would not be at the bottom this time at the very least. However, there were also some tribes that had bad relations with the Tamu tribe who still firmly believed that their fate of being at the bottom would not change. It was because on this day, a stooped old man with an exceptionally gloomy expression came to the Tamu tribe. He was a great emperor who had experienced the 6 tribulations in the ancient times. He was one of the 5 emperors of the Middle State. As soon as he arrived, all the cultivators of the Tamu tribe knelt down to welcome him with incomparable respect. I, the cultivator of the Tamu tribe, greet Great Emperor Lu Tua, one of the 5 emperors of the Middle State, Great Emperor Lu Tua. Rumor has it that he had the deepest prejudice against the cultivators of the outer world. Moreover, he was a great emperor of the Tamu tribe who had lived since the ancient times until now. Great Emperor Lu Tuo's innate talent was originally extremely high. However, he was once injured by a female emperor, who trespassed into the Tamu tribe. Her actions damaged his foundation. As a result, he was still unable to break through the bottleneck of the 7th tribulation, and his cultivation base had always been stuck at the 6th tribulation realm. Because of this, no matter how many times the 5 emperors of the Middle State were replaced, he would always be one of them. Because his foundation had been destroyed, he was required to handle the mundane affairs of the tribe. Thus, he could not resign from his position and enter his residence to cultivate. His entire life was completely destroyed in the hands of a foreign female emperor. It was imaginable how much he hated foreign cultivators. I didn't expect that the punishment of these foreign cultivators would actually be carried out by Great Emperor Lu Tua, who hates foreign cultivators the most. In this way, these people will at least be severely injured. If they dare to resist, they might even be directly killed by Great Emperor Lu Tua. Some of the cultivators of the southern border who were observing the Tamu tribe from afar were secretly gloating. It seemed like the Tamu tribe was going to be at the bottom again. At this moment, Tajiri simply didn't dare to voice his anger. He knew it. He knew it. He had painstakingly looked for external help this time. He wanted to fight for the Tamu tribe in the grand competition, but he was still restricted by the higher-ups. They could only blame the fact that there was once a traitor in the Pagoda Wood tribe. This person was extremely daring and killed the disciples of great monarch Lu Tua. In the end, not only was he sentenced to death, even the Pagoda Wood tribe was implicated by him, and was secretly suppressed by great monarch Lu Tua. The Tamu tribe had been at the bottom of the southern border for a whole 12,000 years. It wasn't that the Tamu tribe didn't have any outstanding clansmen in the 12 grand competitions. It wasn't that they didn't borrow powerful magical treasures, but those outstanding clansmen would usually be severely injured before the grand competitions. Those magical treasures that they had painstakingly borrowed would also be secretly destroyed by others. There were some things that Great Emperor Lu Tua didn't even need to do anything. Countless people were willing to bully and humiliate the Tamu tribe in order to please Great Emperor Lu Tua. Regarding this, the Tamu tribe and Tajiri could only endure it. For example, the Evil Goat tribe had spread the news that they wanted to surpass the Tamu tribe by 3,000 points in the grand competition, and wanted to snatch the Tamu tribe's medicine essence. They also had the intention of pleasing Great Emperor Lu Tua. However, they didn't expect that when the Tamu tribe finally got a strong reinforcement, Great Emperor Lu Tua would personally carry out the 6 punishments. Was he going to personally suppress the foreign cultivators? Chun. I heard that you've been very close to that external cultivator of the Tamu tribe recently. You even want to worship him as your master? On the grassland far away, the clan chief of the Evil Goat tribe looked at Xinyu Chun with disappointment. He knew that his son was stupid, but he firmly believed that his son still had the most basic sense of propriety. As long as there was someone to guide him, he wouldn't make any big mistakes. However, he didn't expect his son to be so stupid. Why did he go against the Tamu tribe? Wasn't it just to please Great Emperor Lu Tua? His stupid son went to befriend the external cultivator of Great Emperor Lu Tua, and even wanted to worship him as his master. If Great Emperor Lu Tua pursued this matter, how could the Evil Goat tribe have a good life? For the first time in his life, the clan chief of the Evil Goat tribe had the thought to abolish his son's position as the young clan chief. Even if this son was pure and filial, even if this son had outstanding aptitude, even if this son was the son of the woman he loved the most. That's right. I want to worship that person as my master. I want to be like him. I want to know everything under the heavens, to be able to summon the wind and summon the rain. Xianyu Chun obviously didn't notice the disappointment in his father's eyes. He was still in high spirits. After so many years, he finally met someone he wanted to worship as his master. It really wasn't easy. Silly child, I know that you despise the southern border because it is too small. You want to worship a famous teacher and ascend to a bigger stage. I have also been looking for a famous teacher for you. I even wanted to help you become a disciple of that great Emperor Lu Tuo. Otherwise, why do you think I would go against the Tamu tribe? I just wanted to help you have a better future. Why did you make a mistake? You befriended the external cultivator of the Tamu tribe. Isn't that making great Emperor Lu Tuo despise you? Our evil goat tribe is only a second-rate tribe in the entire Great Bay. The hope of becoming a disciple of Lu Tuo is already very slim. Yet you still sigh. The clan chief of the evil goat tribe sighed again. From today onwards, you are not allowed to have any contact with that external cultivator. This matter doesn't only concern your future. It also concerns the fate of our evil goat tribe. You must remember this. But, Xianyu Chun clenched his teeth. No buts. Believe me, once great Emperor Lu Tuo comes, even if that external cultivator doesn't die, he will be half crippled. There are some things you don't know. That great Emperor Lu Tuo's hatred for external cultivators is far beyond your imagination. This time, the 6 punishments are definitely not a small matter. Xianyu Chun was inwardly shocked. Judging from his father's tone, could it be that his master, whom he had taken a fancy to, would be assassinated by great Emperor Lu Tuo? Would an expert like great Emperor Lu Tuo do such a thing? Are all of you the external cultivators who intend to join the Tamu tribe? Great Emperor Lu Tuo's eyes were like cold lightning. He scanned across Ningfan and the others with undisguised hostility. When his gaze landed on Zhongyu, he suddenly paused and frowned. You, take off your veil. As soon as great Emperor Lu Tuo's voice fell, Zhongyu immediately became nervous. His nervousness was also transmitted to Ningfan, who was in the mother relic through the child relic. Have you offended him before? Ningfan's heart sank. I've beaten him half to death. Is that considered as offending him? Zhongyu wanted to cry, but had no tears. In the past, she had always barged into the Great Bay by force. This was the only time she wanted to abide by the law. Why did she encounter Lu Tuo? Why is this old thing still alive? Didn't you hear what I just said? Great Emperor Lu Tuo's voice turned cold. A wave of monstrous aura force immediately pressed down on Zhongyu. The grassland of the Tamu tribe suddenly shook as if there was an earthquake. Countless cattle and sheep prostrated themselves in fear. The sky seemed to have been struck by a gray lightning. Then, it split open from the middle, producing rumbling sounds of thunder. Emperor's wrath lightning welcome. Many cultivators of the Great Bay tribe exclaimed inwardly. This was a strange phenomenon that could only be triggered by an immortal Emperor realm cultivator in the grassland of the Great Bay tribe. That immense aura force pressed down like tidal waves, causing Zhongyu's already weakened body to break apart bit by bit, as if she was about to be directly crushed by that aura force. She gritted her teeth in anger. If it was in the past, why would she be afraid of a mere Lu Tuo? Even if all 5 emperors of the Middle State came together, she would not be afraid. Why would she be bullied to this extent? However, the current her only felt weak and powerless when she faced Lu Tuo again. Unless she was willing to risk her life and regain her cultivation level within a short period of time to fight against that Lu Tuo. What a joke. I, Zhongyu, will not risk my life for such a reason. I don't want Lu Tuo to see my face. I don't want to die here. It seems like I have to run away now. Just when she was so convinced, Ningfan turned his body slightly to the side and shielded her behind him. His shoulders were not considered broad, but it gave Zhongyu a sense of tranquility that could block all storms for the first time in her life. As the great emperor of the Middle State, don't you think it's too rude for you to look at my human cauldron's face? Hiss. Countless cultivators of the Great Bay tribe immediately sucked in a cold breath. No matter how many fools there are, they all know how much courage it takes to rebuke an immortal emperor for being rude. Is this foreign cultivator crazy? Even if he is an immortal venerate of the past 10,000 years, he is not qualified to rebuke an immortal emperor, right? How dare he say that Great Emperor Lu Tuo is rude? Do you have the qualifications for me to treat you politely? Lu Tuo's eyes were immediately attracted by Ning Fan. His aura force immediately pressed down on Ning Fan. Ning Fan's expression was solemn, but he did not panic. He used his golden footwork technique and took 9 steps in a row. The Emperor's aura force that felt like the collapse of the heavens was actually transferred to his feet. This man actually withstood Great Emperor Lu Tuo's aura force head-on with his immortal venerate cultivation base. Innumerable experts of the Great Bay tribe who were paying close attention to this place were secretly surprised. The Towerwood tribe seemed to have found a strong ally this time. Even if this person is in the eastern heaven of the outside world, he would definitely be a heaven-defying existence. This man's footwork technique. Great Emperor Lu Tuo's frown deepened. Even though he felt a sense of familiarity from Zongyu's body, Zongyu had deliberately concealed it. Moreover, it had been a long time since then. Thus, he could not recognize that she was the all-powerful immortal concubine Zongyu on the spot. At most, he just felt that this lady was a little unpleasant. Actually, it would be useless even if she takes off her veil. In the past, when he was being taught a lesson by Zongyu, he was beaten half to death before he could even see Zongyu's face clearly today. With Ning Fan supporting Zongyu, Great Emperor Lu Tuo's face had been severely humiliated. Thus, his disgust was naturally directed towards Ning Fan. As for Zongyu, Lu Tuo ignored him. I heard that the members of the Great Bay tribe are boorish, but they are also well-mannered. Even when the members of the tribe are being pillaged, they will never lay their hands on a married woman. Since she is my human cauldron, she can be considered as my wife. It is indeed inappropriate for the sovereign emperor to want to see her face. Ning Fan withstood the emperor's aura force, but he did not act arrogantly. Instead, he said calmly. Great Emperor Lu Tuo's frown deepened, and he let out a cold snort in a strange tone. Forget it. It's not important whether I want to see her face or not. Today, I have come to carry out the 6 punishments. You 4 cultivators and 2 beasts have a total of 36 punishments. Since you have contradicted me, this punishment will be doubled. There will be a total of 72 punishments. Now there are only 2 paths in front of you. One is to obediently accept your punishment. The second is to barge into the Great Bay tribe and fight me. Countless cultivators of the Great Bay tribe secretly inhaled. The hearts of Ning Fan and the others also turned gloomy. According to the rules of the Great Bay tribe, any outsider who enters the tribe must receive 6 punishments to restrict their cultivation base. Pets were not included in the punishment. However, this Great Emperor Lu Tuo not only included his pets, but also doubled the number of punishments. This was a blatant act against Ning Fan and the others. He was going against the Towerwood tribe. He did not hide it at all. He could either compromise or fight. Little thief. What should I do? Zongyu felt a little guilty. If it wasn't for her, Ning Fan would not have gone to block the Emperor's aura force and humiliated Great Emperor Lu Tuo. Naturally, he would not give Lu Tuo an excuse to double the punishment. Even though she also understood that Lu Tuo would also pick a fight even without this excuse, she still felt a little guilty. According to Zongyu's understanding of the Great Bay tribe, the first punishment could seal the cultivation base of the true enlightenment realm. The third punishment could seal the cultivation base of the shedding void realm. The 6th punishment could seal the cultivation base of the broken thought realm, while the 12th punishment could seal the cultivation base of the ancient immortal venerables. Zongyu secretly calculated in her mind. For example, if someone like Elder Wu receives the 6th punishment, their cultivation base would be sealed all the way until they reach the shedding void realm. If they receive the 12th punishment, they might not even be able to display a trace of their cultivation base. It was the same for Ning Fan. The 12th punishment was the limit of ordinary immortal venerables. Perhaps they could receive 1 or 2 more punishments, but the difference would not be too great. If the punishment exceeds their cultivation base, their lives might even be in danger. If the 72 punishments are distributed among the 4 humans and the 2 beasts, it would be impossible to distribute them all. Unless she risked her life to release her cultivation base and bear the punishment. Perhaps, she would be able to receive all 72 punishments by herself. What a joke. She did not want to die for the sake of being punished. Do I really have to barge into the Great Bay tribe? This is definitely the worst outcome. If Jiu Li's sacrificial vessel is in the high-grade ominous region, what should I do? How am I going to obtain the passage token and enter the high-grade ominous region to search for it if I fall out with the Great Bay tribe? Or perhaps the sacrificial vessel is not in the ominous region, but in the hands of the great emperor of the Great Bay tribe. Do I really have to become enemies with the Great Bay tribe before I even get to the bottom of the situation? How am I going to carry out the search after that? Ning Fan knitted his brows tightly. It was not that he did not dare to barge into the Great Bay tribe. It was just that many things would be difficult if he did that. Since it was related to the ancient Chaos Realm, he had no choice but to be cautious. However, it did not mean that he would compromise without any principles. If Lu Tuo's intention is to expel the foreign cultivators, he would still be expelled even if he has to endure the 72 punishments. Just when Ning Fan was about to fall out with the Great Bay tribe, another voice that carried the aura of an immortal emperor came from afar with a cold snort. Lu Tuo, since you are so concerned about the foreign cultivators, I can ignore it. However, what if the other party has a medicine soul with 5 colors? It was a skinny old man who was riding a bone bird. He hurriedly rushed towards them. Immediately, many Tamu people in the surroundings called out his identity. Great Emperor Gu Ling. He was one of the 5 emperors of the Middle State. He had never been on good terms with Great Emperor Lu Tuo. As soon as Lu Tuo saw Gu Ling, his expression immediately turned unpleasant. However, Gu Ling's words still shocked him. Could it be that there is actually a medicine soul with 5 colors among this group of foreign cultivators? Why didn't I know about it? If there really is a medicine soul with 5 colors, then no matter how much I dislike this group of people, I can't do anything to them. Chapter 1001. Is there anyone among you with a 5-colored medicine soul? Lu Tuo's question caused many of the Tamu people to look at Ouyang Nuan. If they remembered correctly, this woman's medicine soul was of 5 colors. It was Tamu's fault for being too enthusiastic and honest. As a result, Ouyang Nuan didn't plan to disguise her 5-colored medicine soul at all after she arrived at this place. As a result, some people had seen her medicine soul's color. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was much more cautious. He did not display his medicine soul in this place. However, the color of Ouyang Nuan's medicine soul was still exposed in this place. He was the one who had lost his sense of propriety by not reminding Ouyang Nuan. Fortunately, this exposure did not seem to bring about any negative consequences. On the contrary, it made the 2 immortal emperors who had just arrived feel extremely fearful. Ning Fan sharply noticed this. After learning that they had a medicine soul with 5 colors on their side, the tone of great sovereign Lu Tuo, who was being sarcastic just a moment ago, became much milder. Vaguely, there seemed to be a hint of fear. A dignified immortal emperor was afraid of a 5-colored medicine soul? Ning Fan was not sure if his eyes were playing tricks on him. If it was true, it would be interesting. So you possess a 5-colored medicine soul? Great monarch Lu Tuo followed Tamu's line of sight and noticed Ouyang Nuan. A gray light flashed across his eyes and he was shocked. It's actually true. Apparently, he had used some kind of secret technique to confirm Ouyang Nuan's 5-colored medicine soul. The other bone spirit Great Emperor also used his secret skill and smiled with satisfaction. Ouyang Nuan was a little nervous. She did not know if exposing her 5-colored medicine soul would bring trouble to Ning Fan. This was the first time she was facing 2 immortal emperors at such a close distance. She actually felt as though Mount Tai was pressing down on her. Ling Xian, who was in his arms, was like a little beast with its fur standing on end. It was filled with fear. Little sister Nuan, don't be afraid. According to what I know, the ancient monsters of the despicable race are extremely courteous towards those who possess rare medicine souls. It is a tradition. It is definitely not a bad thing for them to know that you possess a 5-colored medicine soul. Instead, it is extremely possible that it will bring convenience to our journey. Zhang Yu's voice transmission was transmitted over at the right time. The exposure of his 5-colored medicine soul wasn't a bad thing. On the contrary, it would bring him convenience. It would be great if that was the case. Ouyang heaved a sigh of relief. Great Sovereign Lu Tuo began to ponder. His expression kept changing. After a long while, his expression turned complicated, and he said to Ning Fan in a strange tone, "Fine. Since you all have 5-colored medicine souls, you can be considered as the distinguished guests of my despicable clan. As for the punishment of devaluation, you can make an exception and reduce it from 72 punishments to 18 punishments. Anyone with a rare medicine soul was a distinguished guest of the Dabian tribe. Naturally, there was no need for them to be punished. If they were not targeting Ning Fan and the others, Ouyang Nuan, Jiuli and Harry Ball would be exempted from punishment. Only Ning Fan, Old Wu and Zhang Yu would have to be punished. Each of them would receive 6 punishments, which would be a total of 18 punishments. 3 people could be punished separately, or 1 person could be punished together. Given how much Emperor Lu Tuo hated external cultivators, it was already a miracle that he was being fair. Zhang Yu heaved a slight sigh of relief. If it was only the 18 punishments, they could already barely endure it, and there was no need for them to shed all pretenses with the despicable race. Little thief, it seems like these immortal emperors of the Dabian clan won't make things difficult for us anymore. It's better for you to accept the punishment obediently. Then you can do whatever you want in the Dabian clan." Zhang Yu transmitted his voice to Ning Fan, and told him about how the Dabian clan treated them courteously and the rare medicine souls. Ning Fan nodded his head. If the Dabian clan does not take the initiative to make things difficult for them, he was also willing to abide by the rules. However, if it's 18 punishments, he could still give it a try. Great Sovereign Lu Tuo, who no longer made things difficult for them, began to carry out his routine. He flipped his hand and took out a piece of jade horsebone. Then he offered it to the sky, causing it to turn into a ray of light and shoot into the sky. Then the illusions of tens of thousands of galloping horses appeared on the grassland. Smoke and dust rose in all directions while the neighing of countless horses resounded through the sky. The tens of thousands of horses galloped past and then disappeared. What followed next was the entire grassland shaking violently. A crack appeared on the ground. Gray chi kept drifting out from the crack and fell on the ground, solidifying. Eventually, it formed an extremely ancient sacrificial altar. The sacrificial altar was extremely massive. There were 3,000 golden pillars erected on it. Each of the golden pillars was pierced with many golden rings. Each of the golden rings seemed to have a great sealing power. This is the punishment platform. All of you should already know that when external cultivators enter our Dabian clan, they must break the punishment ring to restrict their cultivation base. Those who bring the punishment ring into the inner area are considered as guests of our Dabian clan. If they leave, the ring will disappear on its own. If you destroy the punishment ring without permission, it will be regarded as challenging the prestige of our Dabian clan, and you will be hunted down by the 5 emperors of our clan. All of you must bear this in mind. Great Sovereign Lu Tuo explained for a while and continued. Those who wish to be punished, go up the punishment platform and touch the golden pillars to receive your punishment. Even though Lu Tuo did not make things difficult for Ning Fan and the others because he was wary of the 5-colored medicine soul, he still hated external cultivators after all. Thus, when he spoke to them, he naturally would not be polite. During the past few days, Ning Fan and the others had already learned the specific steps of the punishment from Tagori. Thus, they were mentally prepared to receive the punishment. According to their discussion, the 2 beasts did not need to be punished. Ouyang Nuan and Zhang Yu did not need to be punished. Since the punishment could be shared, Ning Fan and Old Wu Ba would be the ones to receive it. Who will be punished first? Great Sovereign Lu Tuo asked expressionlessly. I will. I, Wu Xiaoba, will be the one to receive the punishment. We don't know how dangerous this punishment platform is. How can we let our master go up first? Old Wu Ba walked out with a righteous look and walked up to the punishment platform step by step. His expression was solemn. The wind was howling and the water was cold. On the surface, he seemed to be doing it voluntarily, wanting to share the punishment for his master. In his mind, however, he was making his own calculations. There was a total of 18 punishments which would be shared between him and Ning Fan. If Ning Fan goes to receive the punishment first and walks down the platform after receiving 4 to 5 punishments, he Wu Xiaoba would have to bear the remaining 13 to 14 punishments. That would be extremely bad. Only by receiving the punishment first could he gain the initiative. Only then could he receive as much punishment as he wants. Old Wu Ba secretly calculated in his mind. The limit that a newly advanced immortal venerable could endure was only 12 punishments. Of course, he was a first tribulation immortal venerable, and he could endure more. However, he Wu Xiaoba was the smartest person in the world. He was not willing to bear more than a single copper coin of punishment. 18 punishments. 9 punishments for each person is fair. If I receive less than 9 punishments, the malefic star will definitely have a problem with it. He might even get angry. Sigh. I, Wu Xiaoba, am the most loyal servant in the world. I have to receive at least 9 punishments. I have to let the malefic star take advantage of me. However, I can't let him take advantage of me too much. Otherwise, I'll be at a great disadvantage. I'll just receive 10 punishments. Hehe. Malefic star, oh malefic star. I'll receive 10 punishments and you'll receive 8. When the time comes, I'll just say that I've used all my strength and reached my limit. I know that you'll take advantage of me, and I won't have anything to say. The Tamu people did not know that old Wu Ba had such a scheme in his mind. They were simple and honest by nature. Naturally, they only saw the surface. They could not help but sigh. This external cultivator is very loyal. He's willing to take risks for his master. He's a real man. Even the patriarch of the Tamu tribe, Tagri, was secretly surprised. He didn't expect that old Wu Ba, who swindled the Tamu people, was actually a loyal servant. Old Wu Ba walked up the punishment platform and cautiously walked towards the first of the 3,000 golden pillars. He reached out his hand to touch the golden pillar, and immediately withdrew it. He was very cautious as if he was facing a great enemy. After touching the golden pillar, a golden ring immediately flew out from the golden pillar. It turned into a golden light and entered old Wu Ba's body. Immediately, old Wu Ba's cultivation level dropped. It almost fell below the level of the eternal tribulation. Old Wu Ba's expression changed slightly at first. After looking inside his body, he heaved a sigh of relief. After thinking for a moment, he continued to touch the second golden pillar. As he touched the 8th golden pillar, his cultivation level dropped to the peak of shedding void realm. The 9th golden pillar, the late shedding void realm. The 10th golden pillar, the middle shedding void realm. I've suffered a total of 10 punishment rings. My cultivation level has also been restricted to the middle shedding void realm. If I force myself to hold on, I should be able to suffer another 3 or 4 punishment rings. But I'm not stupid. Of course, I'll let the evil star enjoy the remaining punishment rings. Old Wu Ba didn't want to suffer any losses. On the surface, he pretended to be gasping for breath. He gritted his teeth as if he wanted to touch the 11th golden pillar. However, before he could reach it, he fell to the ground as if he had lost all his strength. He seemed to be in a rather sorry state. Not good. This external cultivator surnamed Wu has suffered too much punishment. He's not feeling well. I'm afraid he can't endure the 11th punishment ring. How sad. How lamentable. Look at his appearance. He's obviously exhausted, but he's still struggling to touch the 11th punishment ring. It's really rare. This is a loyal servant. What a loyal and courageous man. Some of the Tamu people were extremely worried. They had a good impression of old Wu Ba's loyalty. Naturally, they were more concerned about him. There were also some Tamu people who were moved to tears by old Wu Ba's struggle to get up. They secretly swore in their hearts that they would follow old Wu Ba's example and be a loyal and good person for the rest of their life. Looking at old Wu Ba, who was struggling to crawl on the execution platform, the corner of Ning Fan's mouth twitched. He secretly sent a telepathic message to old Wu Ba. Come back when you're done acting. I won't let you suffer the remaining 8 punishment rings. Old Wu Ba's heart skipped a beat. He wondered if Ning Fan had already seen through his little trick. He instantly got up from the ground and ran down the execution platform eagerly. Then he bowed and apologized to Ning Fan, causing the Tamu people to be stunned. They could not understand how old Wu Ba regained his strength and became so lively in an instant. There are still 8 punishment rings left. Ning Fan ignored old Wu Ba and slowly climbed up the execution platform. Just like old Wu Ba, he raised his hand and touched the first golden pillar. As soon as he touched it, the golden pillar immediately shook slightly. It was a kind of shaking that seemed to be alive. Then a golden ring flew down from the pillar and turned into a golden light, entering his body. Ning Fan's expression changed slightly. He looked inside his body and saw that there was a golden ring that looked illusory on top of his primordial spirit. This golden ring could seal a cultivator's cultivation base. Among his cultivation base, Jie Shui's cultivation base was the highest. With the restriction of this golden ring, Jie Shui's cultivation base was actually greatly restricted. The strength that he displayed was almost at the level of a zero tribulation immortal venerable. This golden ring seems to be a type of sealing technique used by the people of Dabii. Ning Fan tried to break free from the golden ring and realized that it was extremely difficult to do so. No matter how his primordial spirit changed, the golden ring would change accordingly. It was even more difficult for an ordinary true immortal to break free from it. Of course, if he uses his trump card, he could still forcefully break free and recover his cultivation base instantly. Thus, he did not need to worry too much. No wonder Zhang Yu said that there was no need to worry too much after being hit by the punishment rings. He meant that he could break free from the restraints of the rings at any time. However, according to the rules of the Dabii clan, if a person who was hit by the punishment rings forcefully breaks free, it would be regarded as a provocation to the dignity of the clan. The person would certainly be hunted down by the 5 emperors of the clan. If it wasn't necessary, Ning Fan and the others were not allowed to destroy the punishment rings and recover their cultivation base while they were staying in the clan. What the Dabii clan wanted was for the cultivation base of these external cultivators to be restricted. If there are any changes, I will break the punishment rings and recover my cultivation base. If there are no changes, I will stay still and focus on the purpose of this trip. Ning Fan made up his mind. After taking 1 punishment ring, he took the remaining 7 punishment rings. As a result, Jie Shui's cultivation base was almost completely restricted. The cultivation bases that he could freely use were about the divine, demon and devil cultivation bases. Immediately Ning Fan felt exhausted. After all, he had gradually gotten used to the strength of Jie Shui. Naturally, he needed some time to adapt to his original cultivation base, when it was suddenly beaten back to its original state. 3 merits, 6 punishments and 12 restrictions. 6 punishments were over. The remaining 3 punishments were over, and he only needed to perform 3 merits before he could gain complete freedom in the Dabii clan. After he was done with the punishment, Great Emperor Lu Tuo chanted an incantation, and the altar turned back into horse bones. Without wasting any time talking to the others, he directly left. However, before he left, he cupped his fists towards Ouyang Nuan reluctantly. He was extremely polite. This greatly surprised many cultivators of the southern border, who were secretly paying attention to this place. They never expected that Great Emperor Lu Tuo, who had always been hostile to external cultivators, would also have such a polite side. When Great Emperor Bone Spirit saw Lu Tuo's change from arrogant to respectful, he smiled coldly as if he really looked down on Lu Tuo's character. After Lu Tuo left, he walked past Ning Fan and the others arrogantly. His eyes looked straight ahead and carried the arrogance of an immortal emperor. However, when he walked to Ouyang Nuan's side, he revealed an extremely polite smile and said, "Since the punishment is over, I will take my leave first. Little friend, since you've come to the Dabii clan, you are my honored guest. If you have any difficulties in the future, you can come to the middle state and ask for my help. Of course, if I need your help in the future, I also hope that you can lend me your strength." That politeness was only shown to Ouyang Nuan. In the eyes of Great Emperor Bone Spirit, only Ouyang Nuan was worthy of his attention among all the external cultivators. The others were not worth mentioning at all. Ouyang Nuan felt a little uneasy. She had never been treated so politely by an immortal emperor before. She was still in a daze even after Great Emperor Bone Spirit bid farewell and left. Ning Fan's expression, on the other hand, became slightly solemn. The reason why these immortal emperors of the Dabi clan were so polite to Ouyang Nuan was not just because of the rare medicine soul they received. Great Emperor Bone Spirit seemed to have said that if he needs help, he would need Ouyang Nuan's strength. Could it be that these immortal emperors of the Dabi clan have some use for the five-colored medicine soul? Do they still need to ask for Ouyang Nuan's help? Great Emperor Bone Spirit was just being polite, but Great Emperor Lu Tua was actually fearful. It doesn't seem like it's as simple as asking for help with the five-colored medicine soul. If I also reveal my five-colored medicine soul, I would probably also be valued by these immortal emperors. However, Ning Fan frowned. He could not figure out the real thoughts of these immortal emperors. Out of caution, he did not take the initiative to tell them about this matter. Just like that, the two great emperors left peacefully. Great Emperor Lu Tua did not make things difficult for the external cultivators. This greatly surprised many cultivators of the southern border. At the same time, many of them felt that it was a pity that they had lost the chance to weaken the Tamu tribe. In this competition, the Tamu tribe will be supported by external cultivators who are at the Shirkong realm. We must not be careless. Some of the tribes who had been enemies with the Tamu tribe for many years began to feel fearful. Now that the Tamu tribe has a Shirkong realm expert, they will definitely not be at the bottom this time. In that case, the tribes like us who don't have a Shirkong realm expert will probably be at the bottom. Some of the weaker tribes in the southern border sighed softly. Without the Tamu tribe, their tribes would probably be at the bottom. It was really unfortunate. Xin Yuchun's eyes were filled with passion. He did not expect that the master he had chosen could actually be so domineering in front of an immortal emperor. He could even withstand the might of Great Emperor Lu Tua, as expected of his master. Thus, after Ning Fan and the others were done with their punishment, Xin Yuchun immediately ran to the Tamu tribe to serve Ning Fan tea. This time his father did not stop him. Great Emperor Lu Tuo's attitude towards external cultivators made the clan leader of the Xieyang tribe a little uncertain. Judging from Great Emperor Lu Tuo's attitude, he seemed to be quite polite to these external cultivators. In that case, it might not be a bad thing for his son to befriend external cultivators. Forget it, just let him be. Perhaps this is his fortune. Who knows? Ning Fan's attitude towards Xin Yuchun's flattery was still extremely indifferent. He did not have the intention to accept him as a disciple. Very soon, he sent him away and went into seclusion for another 3 days. Only then did he get used to his cultivation base that was sealed. Since the punishment was over, both his and Elder Wu's cultivation bases were sealed. Currently, he could only display the cultivation base of a god, demon or devil. Both the ancient gods and ancient demons' cultivation bases were at the peak of the early Shirkong realm. The ancient devil's cultivation base was the strongest. They were just a step away from attaining the 9th nirvana realm of the heavenly devil realm. With such cultivation base, it was enough to help the Tamu tribe achieve a good result in the minor competition of the southern border. However, it was unknown if they could get the first place in the southern border. There was still about a month before the minor competition begins. Ning Fan did not plan to waste this period of time. The 6 punishments were over. However, he still needed to perform 3 meritorious deeds in exchange for true freedom for everyone in the despicable tribe. In order to perform meritorious deeds, they needed to go to the borders of the ferocious regions of the various continents of the despicable tribe and receive missions from the tribes there. Before the minor competition of the southern border began, Ning Fan decided to go to the borders of the ferocious regions of the southern border alone and complete the missions that everyone needed to complete. According to Tagri, an external cultivator had to perform 3 human realm meritorious deeds. 4 of them would mean 12 meritorious deeds. For this trip, Ning Fan did not bring anyone else along. Elder Wu's cultivation base had just been sealed. He needed some time to adapt to it. Unlike Ning Fan, who was originally a Shirkong realm cultivator, he naturally took a longer time to adapt. Ouyang Nuan, on the other hand, stayed behind in the Tamu tribe to refine the pills that she found in the cave of the ancient cultivator previously to improve the power of her medicine soul. Zhang Yu also stayed behind to prepare for seizing another body and being reborn. Zhang Yu's broken divine body was too broken. During this trip, She planned to look for a suitable physical body to seize. However, before that, she needed to repair her broken divine body. She had a unique secret technique that allowed her to use the dense medicinal qi of this place to recuperate under the moonlight. Ning Fan did not need to worry about that. After leaving the Tamu tribe, Ning Fan first went to the Saint's stone tablet. When all the guards of the Tamu tribe had left, he secretly tried to collect the saint's inscriptions. Of course, he returned empty-handed. Even if his cultivation base was not sealed, the result would still be the same. He left after observing the saint's inscriptions for a while. After that, Ning Fan changed his route and went to the borders of the ferocious regions of the southern border grassland. The inner region of the holy region was formed by pieces of broken continents. The outermost region of the southern border grassland was connected to a few continents of the ferocious regions. Those continents of the ferocious regions were lacking in spiritual qi, and there were countless ferocious creatures roaming around. Naturally, they were not suitable for humans to live in. However, due to the fact that there were many opportunities and fortunes in those continents, many cultivators of the southern border loved to enter the ferocious regions to gain experience. The Evil Goat tribe was the tribe that was the closest to the ferocious regions in the southern border grassland. If the cultivators of the tribes of the southern border wanted to enter the ferocious regions to gain experience, they would usually pass through this place. There were a lot of spiritual herbs and ferocious creatures in the ferocious regions. Most of the cultivators who entered the ferocious regions to gain experience would be able to obtain some treasures. As for the things that they could not use, they would basically sell them in the market square of the Evil Goat tribe. In the Evil Goat tribe, there was also a special place that was used to issue some missions for the cultivators who wanted to gain experience. There were missions like guarding and patrolling, missions like gathering and hunting. There were also some special missions. The levels of the missions were divided into 4 grades: human, earth, heaven, and Azura. Some of them were issued by the local tribes of the southern border, while some were issued by the tribes of other continents. Tuolong was the guardian of the Evil Goat tribe. Today he was yawning as usual, guarding the place leisurely. One could not blame him for being leisurely. There were many cultivators who entered the ferocious regions to gain experience. However, there were only a few who dared to come and accept the missions. After all, even the lowest grade human rank missions were filled with dangers. Even old monster Dujin did not dare to accept them casually. All of the Earth rank missions were major missions that could affect the overall situation of the tribes of the southern border. The degree of danger was so high that even old monster Shikong did not dare to accept them casually. Besides, the rewards of the missions were also extremely generous. As for the heaven rank missions, there was no such high-grade mission in the southern border. This kind of mission could only be accepted in the middle province. As for the Azura rank missions, it was a mission that even an immortal Emperor realm expert could not complete alone. Of course, there was no such mission in the southern border. Tuolong was yawning when the tense leather curtain was suddenly lifted. A man and a woman walked in. When he saw who it was, Tuolong's body shook and he smiled flatteringly. The 2 lords are here again? The wind is strong in the grassland. Quickly sit down and drink some hot ma milk tea. No need. We are not here to drink tea. Is there still no one who wants to accept the mission we issued? The man glanced at the leather scroll hanging on the wall and frowned. This was a man who was wearing a completely different attire from the Debay tribe. He looked quite similar to the cultivators of the 4 heavens. The only difference was that he was carrying an extremely thick black iron giant sword on his back. This man's appearance was not handsome, but he was angular. He gave people a domineering feeling between his eyebrows. His whole body was emitting the powerful aura of a peak Shikong realm expert. Tuolong secretly recited the identity of this man with the giant sword. Holy Mountain Tomb Guardian Pai Xiong. It was said that he was ranked in the top 100 among the Tomb Guardians. This was not a big shot that a small Evil Goat tribe's mission guardian could afford to offend. Hearing the man with the giant sword, Tuolong naturally did not dare to be negligent. He said helplessly, "The difficulty of the mission issued by the 2 lords is too high. Look for 10 pieces of 6-star Nirvana stones. I'm sure the lords also know how precious the Nirvana stone is to body cultivators. It is a great supplement for most of the ferocious creatures in the ominous domain. There are always ferocious creatures guarding it. Moreover, it is extremely difficult to obtain it unless you are in a rank for ominous domain or above. So until now, there is still no one who wants to accept my mission. Although there are not many late Shirkong realm experts in the southern border, there are still a few of them. The reward I offered is definitely considered high. However, I didn't expect that I couldn't even find a person to accompany me on this mission. Speaking of which, this mission is too dangerous. Could it be that your southern border Shirkong realm is afraid of getting injured before the tribal grand competition? The cultivators of the southern border are really cowards. The man with the giant sword said disdainfully. If there is really no one, then forget it. There are both of us on this mission. Even though it is a little dangerous, it is not impossible to achieve our goal. The lady was wearing a red short shirt and a leather skirt. Her long hair was light red and tied up loosely with the tendons of a flood dragon. Her skin was so fair that it was a little unhealthy. There was a drop of blood-red cinnabar on her glabella. Her beautiful eyes were rather fierce. She did not give off the feeling of a gentle lady, but a she-wolf on the grassland. Fine. Let's wait for another 10 days. If there is still no one who wants to accept the mission, then we will forget about this mission. The man let out a cold harumph and left with the lady. Just as they were about to walk out of the tent, a white-robed young man pushed open the curtain and walked in. This person's attire. The red-haired lady's beautiful eyes turned solemn. The man with the giant sword also had a serious look on his face. This attire is different from the Great Humble clan. Could it be? Are you also the tomb guardian of the Holy Mountain? The man with the giant sword asked Ning Fan. According to his understanding, the only people who would wear the attire of an outsider in the Great Humble clan were the cultivators from the outside world. The tomb guardian of the Holy Mountain? What's that? Ning Fan was surprised. He had just arrived at the mission office of the Evil Goat clan. Why did someone already ask him such a strange question? As a meticulous person, he naturally remembered the name that he heard for the first time. He thought that it was the name of a certain clan in the Great Humble clan. When he was about to ask further, the man with the giant sword revealed an arrogant look after he got the answer. So you're a cultivator from the outside world. Humph. As soon as the man heard that Ning Fan was a cultivator from the outside world, he did not even have the intention to check Ning Fan's cultivation base. He directly opened the curtain and left. The red-haired lady looked at Ning Fan deeply. However, she shook her head in disappointment after just a glance. The man with the giant sword was disgusted by Ning Fan's race. The red-haired lady was more open-minded, but she was also a little disappointed by Ning Fan's cultivation base. The chi that he revealed is very obscure. However, it seems like he is just at the peak of the early void-shedding realm. The red-haired lady did not detect Ning Fan's exact cultivation base. She then left feeling a little disappointed. If Ning Fan's cultivation base was slightly higher, she would not mind Ning Fan's race. She would even be willing to invite Ning Fan to the Grade 4 Fierce region to search for the Mother Rebirth Stone. After all, the minor competition of the southern border was just around the corner. It was rare for cultivators from the void-shedding realm to come here to receive missions. Unfortunately, he did not even have a cultivation base at the mid-void-shedding realm. Bringing him along on this trip would just be a burden. It's better not to bring him along. Speaking of which, since he is a cultivator from the outside world, he is most likely one of the people who entered the holy region this time. I wonder if the cultivation base that he revealed is his cultivation base before the punishment or after the punishment. If it's the latter, his original cultivation base is probably extremely high. However, even if he is an immortal venerable from the outside world, he would not be much higher than a void-shedding realm cultivator in the eyes of the locals. Therefore, when the red-haired lady left the tent, she immediately forgot about Ning Fan and ignored him. I wonder what the tomb guardian of the holy mountain that the man with the giant sword was talking about. Ning Fan similarly forgot about the two of them. He walked into the tent and said to the person in charge of the mission, "I'm here to receive a mission." "Are you a cultivator from the outside world?" Tuolong lazily picked his ears. His attitude was not at all friendly. Are cultivators from the outside world very powerful? In the eyes of the people of the great despicable realm, they are not much different from cattle and sheep. Of course, if a cultivator from the outside world is strong enough to make Tuolong welcome him or her warmly. Unfortunately, Tuolong's cultivation base was too weak. He could not see through Ningfan's current cultivation base at all. Yes. I came here today to complete the 3-merit mission. 3-merit mission? All the missions here are human rank. You can pick any 3 of them to complete. Tuolong did not even want to pay attention to Ningfan. Inwardly, he was wondering why another cultivator from the outside world had entered the grassland of the Southern Territory, the holy region that only opens once every 10,000 years. There won't be many quotas for cultivators from the outside world. Those who dare to enter the inner area of the holy region are even fewer. I wonder which tribe did this person join. Speaking of which, there were 2 immortal venerables from the ancient times who joined the Tower Wood tribe not long ago. Sigh. The Tower Wood tribe is really lucky to have an immortal venerable external cultivator joining them. No matter what, they won't be at the bottom of the Southern Territory Grand Competition this time. I heard that the young clan leader is also very respectful towards one of the immortal venerables, and wants to take him as his master. Wait. Could this person be one of the 4 external cultivators from the Tower Wood tribe? Tuolong had been guarding the mission office for many years. Thus he did not know much about external cultivators. He only knew that the 2 immortal venerables among the 4 external cultivators were men. Could this person be immortal venerables from the Tower Wood? Tuolong shuddered. Then, he shook his head in a self-deprecating manner. It doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it. If this person is really an immortal venerable from the outside world, he should at least have the arrogance of an immortal venerable. Just now, the 2 tomb guardians of the Holy Mountain more or less disregarded and disrespected Ningfan. However, Ningfan was not angry at all. If he is really an immortal venerable, even if he is a cultivator from the outside world, he should not have such a big heart. This person is certainly not an immortal venerable of the Tower Wood tribe. I, Tuolong, have seen countless people, but I have never seen an immortal venerable with such soft and tender skin. Tuolong touched his exposed chest muscles, which were dark and thick. Then he looked at Ningfan and sighed, feeling sorry for Ningfan's lack of manliness. Ningfan's forehead was filled with black lines. First, it was the 2 baffling men and women. Then it was a watchman who touched his own chest muscles. Are all the cultivators of the Great Humble Clan so baffling? Rumor has it that most of the people of the Great Humble Clan have mental problems. I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman. However, this watchman who touched his own chest muscles is probably not a normal person. Ningfan scanned through the missions that were hung on the wall and nodded his head repeatedly. There were a total of 77 human-grade missions in this place. Some of them were missions to search for spiritual herbs that were 5 million years old and above. Some of them were missions to kill life immortals and true ferocious beasts. There were also some patrolling and guarding missions, such as guarding the spiritual mine veins in the 1st Great Ominous Domain, and patrolling the Fire Valley in the 2nd Great Ominous Domain. Most of these guarding missions had a time limit of 100 years, and they were very time-consuming. Thus, Ningfan naturally would not do them. Excluding these types of guarding missions, there were still 51 human-grade missions that he could accept. To Ningfan, who possessed the treasure-searching compass, he could search for heavenly ingredients and earthly treasures within a small area, even if the interference in the inner area of the holy region was very strong. Therefore, the medicinal herb hunting mission was very easy, and the hunting mission was also not difficult at all. Compared to these simple missions, most of them had very generous rewards. The rewards of human-grade missions were basically medicine soul stones. Moreover, any random human-grade mission would have a reward of more than 10,000 crystals. Originally, Ningfan only needed to complete 12 human-grade missions to complete the 3 merits mission. However, in order to obtain all the medicine soul stones, he did not mind doing all the simple missions that he could casually do. The Earth-grade mission is not considered difficult. Hunting early shedding void realm ferocious beasts, searching for the corpse cores of mid-shedding void realm corpse devils, searching for 10 pieces of 6-star Nirvana origin stones. If I can't complete the missions that I accept, will there be any punishment? Ning Fan asked. No. Tuolong shook his head and sighed. This person was certainly not an immortal venerable. If he was, would he be afraid of being punished for failing to complete the human grade missions? Since there is no punishment, other than the guarding mission, give me a copy of all the human grade and earth grade missions here. What? Tuolong was dumbfounded. This person was either joking or he had an extremely terrifying cultivation base that was enough to complete all the missions here in one go. May I know which tribe you are from? This also needs to be registered. Tuolong swallowed his saliva and asked after making a copy of all the missions. Towerwood tribe. Ning Fan answered. He picked up the copy of the mission and walked out of the tent. Then he soared into the sky and flew out of the grassland of the southern border, heading towards the nearest ominous domain continent. Tuolong sucked in a cold breath. How could he not guess the identity of this person? When he thought of his cold attitude towards this person just now, he immediately became anxious. If this person is really an immortal venerable of the Towerwood tribe, not only his cultivation base is worthy of my respect, but his other identity is also worthy of my respect. Could this person be the master that the young clan leader wants to acknowledge as his disciple? If the young clan leader finds out that I have mistreated his master, will he skin me alive? Hiss. I forgot to give this person the locator compass. The magnetic force in the ominous domain is abnormal. It is enough to restrict spirit sense. This person did not bring the compass with him. Even if his cultivation base is high, it is still dangerous. If he enters a high-grade ominous domain by mistake, I'm afraid he won't be able to get out. Tuolong gritted his teeth and decided to report this matter to the young clan leader. Of course, Ning Fan would not worry about a mere Tuolong. As soon as he entered the ominous domain continent, he realized that there was a strange magnetic force that prevented him from spreading his spirit sense too far. However, it did not matter. His heaven-peering rain technique was powerful enough, and the treasure-searching compass was also very mysterious. Even if his spirit sense was restricted, it would not be too severe. He could still move freely in this place without losing his way. However, what surprised him was that as soon as he entered this ominous domain continent, he discovered something that slightly tempted him. It was a hidden mineral vein that he had located using the treasure-searching compass. Is this the Mother Nirvana stone? Its quality isn't high. It should be a defective 1-star grade item. However, aren't there a little too many of them? Ning Fan stood outside one of the Mother Nirvana stone's mineral veins, and his eyes narrowed slightly. If his senses were not wrong, this kind of ore that was unique to the Great Humble clan actually contained a trace of extremely pure body refining power, which was enough to raise the cultivation base of a body cultivator. His ancient devil cultivation base was already at the peak of the 8th nirvana of the heavenly devil realm. He was only a step away from the 9th nirvana realm. If he absorbs the Mother Nirvana stone in this place, he wondered if he could break through to the 9th nirvana realm in one go roar. All of a sudden, a strange roar that carried a chilly wind resounded from the mine cave. Chapter 1002. That chilly wind carried a putrid stench and a strong poison. It was enough to harm some void fragmentation realm cultivators. Naturally, it could not hurt Ning Fan. The sounds of chains colliding with each other could be heard. What followed was a dozen or so corpse demons with green and hard skin. Their limbs were all tied up by chains. The materials used to make the chains were quite good, but they had long been rusted and broken. It could be seen how old they were. It's this kind of corpse devil again. These corpse devils were almost the same as the ones used by the Towerwood tribe and the Evil Goat tribe during the battle. All of them were cultivators who were killed by poison, and their corpses were demonized. The only difference was that the corpse devils in this mine strangely carried a layer of extremely weak Buddha light. Ning Fan sharply noticed that the Buddha light was not caused by the cultivation method those corpse devils practiced when they were alive. Instead, it was caused by them absorbing the body refining power of the Nirvana, or in this place. During the days he stayed in the Towerwood tribe, Ning Fan roughly learned the language of the Towerwood tribe. With a cultivator's photographic memory, even though he was not very proficient in it, it was enough for him to understand the ancient books of the Great Humble Clan. He had read through the ancient books of the Towerwood tribe and got to know many spiritual herbs and ores that belonged to the Towerwood tribe. Naturally, he had some understanding about the Nirvana Oregon. In the Great Humble Clan, the Nirvana ore was one of the few body refining items. Besides, it contained a kind of body refining power called Nirvana Chi. It could even be used to cultivate many kinds of Buddhist abilities. In that case, it was not difficult to understand why these corpse devils would have a weak Buddha light on their bodies. The cultivation bases of the corpse devils in this mine were not high. Most of them were just at the void refinement realm or void fragmentation realm. Ning Fan opened his mouth and breathed out devil flames, directly burning all the corpse devils into ashes. After his cultivation base was reduced, Ning Fan's current magic power could not even lift the ocean-defying sword which weighed 7 stars. As a result, the devil flames which had reached the 11th level had become his ordinary means of attack. After eliminating the corpse devils, Ning Fan stepped into the mine. It was a secret mine located in a first-grade ominous place. It was located within a spatial formation. Even if some cultivators from the void-shedding realm passed by this place, they might not be able to discover this mine. Of course, it could not escape Ning Fan's eyes. The treasure-searching compass showed an extremely dense group of light spots, indicating just how massive the amount of Mother Nirvana stones in this place was. According to Ning Fan's estimation, if the mining process is completed, they could collect at least 10,000 pieces of 1-star Mother Nirvana stones. 1 star was the lowest grade of origin Nirvana stone. The quality of this mine was not too high. Occasionally, there would be some 2-star origin Nirvana stones, but there would not be too many. Mining ores was extremely time-consuming. Naturally, Ning Fan did not intend to waste his time here. Instead, he directly went to the depths of the mine and squatted on the ground. He placed one of his palms on the uneven and cold ground, and directly absorbed the Mother Nirvana Chi of the mine here. This kind of direct and violent action was highly likely to cause irreparable damage to the mine here. However, it was not something that Ning Fan was concerned about. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths. The stone walls of the mine began to crack and erode. After 100 breaths, it suddenly collapsed. Ning Fan walked out of the ruins of the mine with slight disappointment. He had absorbed the source chi of 10,000 pieces of 1-star Mother Nirvana stones, but it only made his ancient devil body refinement realm improve by a tiny bit. He still did not attain the 9th Nirvana of the heavenly devil realm. It was really a pity. One should know that the source chi of 10,000 pieces of 1-star Mother Nirvana stones was enough to create a life immortal realm body refinement realm. However, it was still not enough for Ning Fan to attain the 9th Nirvana of the heavenly devil realm. It was enough to show how difficult it was to attain the 9th Nirvana of the heavenly devil realm. Forget it. If one mine isn't enough, I can still absorb the source chi from other places. I will definitely be able to attain the 9th Nirvana of the heavenly devil realm. I have the treasure-searching compass with me. As long as there are other hidden mines in this place, they won't be able to hide from my search. After leaving the mine, Ning Fan continued to control the compass to search for treasures and hunt for beasts in the first-grade ominous place. The ominous place was divided into 10 levels according to the degree of danger. The first-grade ominous place was the weakest. Naturally, more people had gone through the trials and tribulations in the first-grade ominous place. Most of the good items on the surface had already been plundered. However, Ning Fan still found a few hidden places with the help of the treasure-searching compass. He found quite a lot of spiritual herbs and immortal materials. He even found a hidden Buddha cave, which was a cave dwelling left behind by an ancient Buddhist cultivator. The current Ning Fan could already understand these words. From these words, he discovered some interesting things. For example, the winner of the gamble on the Holy Mountain is hard to determine. The eternal stone sits on the ground and decays after 10,000 years of recitation. Another example was, the soul of a saint disperses. His will turns into a mountain, and there are secret pills in it. Those who are fated will be able to open the mountain and obtain the pill. Those who are not fated will be able to enter the mausoleum. Many of these words mentioned the word, holy mountain. According to these words, there was a sacred place in the great humble tribe called the Holy Mountain. It was formed by the will of a saint. There are secret pills hidden in the mountain. All of them were concocted by the saint when he was still alive. These words made Ning Fan unconsciously think of the tomb guardian of the Holy Mountain that the man with the huge sword mentioned earlier. The Holy Mountain was the sacred place of the great humble tribe. However, not everyone in the tribe knew about the existence of the Holy Mountain. At least, the cultivators of the Tamu tribe did not know what the Holy Mountain was. Perhaps Tagore knew about it, but he did not tell Ning Fan about it. However, to Ning Fan, secrets like the Holy Mountain were not something that he was concerned about. What he was most concerned about was to find the sacrificial tool of the 9 raccoon. These words did have some records about the sacrificial tool, but it stunned Ning Fan. Since the saint has died, his will turns into a mountain. His good corpse searched for countless sacrificial tools of various clans to worship his master. The evil corpse created his own ominous domain, and became a thief. He stole all the sacrificial tools, and wanted to destroy the holy mountain, but he could not enter it. In the end, he made a bet to divide the territory and rule. According to the words, the herb-gatherer saint had cultivated the good and evil corpse when he was still alive. He became a saint by severing the 3 corpses. After the saint died, the good and evil corpses had a dispute. The good corpse searched for countless sacrificial tools of various clans to worship the herb-gatherer saint. However, the evil corpse snatched all of the sacrificial tools away, not wanting the saint to obtain the sacrificial tools after his death. According to the words, the so-called grade 10 ominous domain was the territory of the evil corpse of the saint. As for the great humble tribe and the holy mountain, they were the territories of the good corpse. Ning Fan frowned slightly. The grade 10 ominous domain was the territory of the evil corpse of the saint. Most of the sacrificial tools that the good corpse searched for were also snatched away by the evil corpse. If the sacrificial tool of the 9 raccoon clan happened to be among the evil corpse's sacrificial tools, would the sacrificial tools of the 9 raccoon clan really be in the evil corpse's territory, the grade 10 ominous domain? Besides, after the death of the saint, would the good and evil corpses of the saint still live until today? Or would they have already perished in the long river of time? If they are still alive, then the great humble tribe and the grade 10 ominous domain would be quite extraordinary. It is not impossible to have the good and evil corpses of the saint guarding the place. Thinking about it, the good and evil corpses that the undying great emperor killed had the strength of ancient great cultivators. If the good and evil corpse of the herb-gatherer saint is really alive until today, it would probably not be any weaker than the good and evil corpse of the undying great emperor. These ancient cultivation words are limited after all. In order to truly find the location of the sacrificial tools, I still need to continue collecting information. Luckily, I have quite a lot of medicine soul stones with me. After completing the missions here, I will get more. In that case, I can stay in the Supreme Pill Sacred region for a longer period of time. With Ning Fan's cultivation base, it did not take him long to search through the entire Grade 1 ominous domain. Then he searched through some of the Grade 1 ominous domains nearby. Only then did he enter the Grade 2 ominous domain, which was located in the deeper region. Occasionally, he would also encounter some cultivators from the Great Desolate Realm who entered the ominous domains for training. However, Ning Fan did not meet those people and directly flew past them. There were very few good items in the low-grade ominous domains. It was already very rare for him to discover a low-grade Mother Nirvana or vein. After that, he actually did not discover any other hidden or veins. He did find some or veins that were on the surface, but all of them had been mined by others. Thus, there were not many Mother Nirvana stones left. Moreover, most of them were defective. Ning Fan continued to search through more than 10 Grade 2 and Grade 3 continents. However, he did not find any more hidden places. Occasionally, he would enter some hidden abodes of ancient cultivators, but they had all been taken away by others. However, along the way, he had completed quite a number of missions. Out of the 51 human grade missions, he had already completed 47 of them. As for the 11 Earth grade missions, he had also completed 4 of them. As for the remaining missions, Most of them could only be completed after entering a Grade 4 ominous domain or above. To void-shedding realm cultivators, a Grade 4 ominous domain was already extremely dangerous. Not many people in the entire southern border grassland would dare to enter such a place. Ning Fan, of course, was not afraid of it. His techniques were not something that void-shedding realm cultivators could compare with. After entering the Grade 4 ominous domain, the treasure-searching compass immediately showed a few hidden light spots. Obviously, the higher the grade of the ominous domain, the more hidden places that had not been discovered by others. Hence, there would also be more hidden treasures. However, as soon as he entered the Grade 4 ominous domain, he was locked on by a few tyrannical chi. It was not the chi of the ferocious beasts in this place, nor the corpse devils. Instead, it was the chi of living humans. Very quickly, 4 black dots flew over from the horizon and landed around Ning Fan. The 4 of them were dressed in a very strange manner. They were different from the nomadic attire of the Great Humble Clan, and the outer cultivator attire of the man with the huge sword. All of them were wearing black armors that emitted monstrous devil chi. Their cultivation bases were not high. All of them were at the Dujin realm. However, when the 4 of them walked in this place, the ferocious beasts and corpse devils seemed to be extremely afraid of them. None of them dared to attack them. Are you the tomb guardian of the sacred mountain or a foreign cultivator? When the 4 of them noticed Ning Fan's outer cultivator attire, they immediately asked in a deep voice. Their killing intent was already faintly leaking out, as if they would immediately attack Ning Fan if he answers them wrongly. Ning Fan, of course, was not afraid of the 4 Dujin experts. He answered indifferently, "I'm a foreign cultivator." Even though he had the intention of befriending the Great Humble Clan, he would still retaliate if the cultivators of this place wanted to kill him. With his means, he could kill the 4 Dujin experts of the Great Humble Clan in this desolate and uninhabited place without leaving a trace. No one would be able to find out the cause and effect between them. So, you're a foreign cultivator. Humph. The 4 black-armored cultivators actually retracted their killing intent. It was as if they would only attack Ning Fan if he answered the question of the tomb guardian of the sacred mountain. However, their tone more or less carried a hint of disdain towards foreign cultivators. One of the cultivators took out a beast bone magic tool. After confirming that Ning Fan really had the punishment ring in his body, all of them turned around and left without bothering about Ning Fan. Ning Fan frowned slightly. These 4 black-armored cultivators did not seem to be cultivators of the Great Humble Clan. After the 4 of them left, Ning Fan began to search through this Grade 4 continent. While he was doing some small tasks, he was also searching for Mother Nirvana stone mines. He really found a 2-star Mother Nirvana stone mine. Unfortunately, there were not many of them. There were only about 1,000 of them. Just like before, Ning Fan directly absorbed all the Mother Nirvana chi in the entire mine. However, to his disappointment, this bit of Mother Nirvana chi was still not enough for him to break through to the 9th Nirvana Heavenly Devil Realm. At the end of the day, the grade of the 2-star Mother Nirvana stones was just too low. Ning Fan continued to search for the other Grade 4 fierce regions. During this period of time, he found another 3 hidden mines. 2 of them were 3-star mines and 1 of them was a 4-star mine. After absorbing all of these mines, Ning Fan realized that the bottleneck of his 9th Nirvana Heavenly Devil Realm had already loosened. He could almost break through at any time. However, he kept having the feeling that something was missing. He kept having the feeling that he was lacking a little bit more. I'm still lacking a little bit more. It's already not about my cultivation base but something else. Ning Fan pondered for a while, and decided to continue searching for the Grade 4 continents in search of the Mother Nirvana stone mines. During this period of time, there were 2 more groups of black-armored cultivators who came to interrogate him. After learning that he was not the tomb guardian of the sacred mountain, they left arrogantly. Ning Fan had almost searched all the Grade 4 continents near the grassland of the southern border. However, he could not find any more mines. Just as Ning Fan was about to enter the deeper parts of the Grade 5 fierce regions, the compass on a Grade 4 continent suddenly reacted violently. Ning Fan's eyes lit up. There was a hidden Mother Nirvana stone mine on this Grade 4 continent. Moreover, the grade of this Mother Nirvana stone was not low. According to Ning Fan's estimation, it was at least a 5-star mine. There might even be a few 6-star ores in it. Speaking of which, I happen to have an Earth grade mission that requires me to find 10 pieces of 6-star Mother Nirvana stones. Ning Fan looked through the dungeon of the Earth grade mission and muttered to himself. 10 pieces of 6-star Mother Nirvana stones were extremely helpful to body refinement. However, the reward of the mission was also very generous. Usually, the reward for missions above the Earth grade would not be medicine soul stones. As for this mission, it was actually a tuft of innate soul-nourishing spiritual medicine. Moreover, it was a type of innate soul-nourishing spiritual medicine that Ning Fan had yet to obtain. The reward for an Earth grade mission was actually an innate soul-nourishing spiritual medicine. In other words, this reward was already very generous. It meant that the person who issued the mission had a great background and could easily get an innate soul-nourishing spiritual medicine. Moreover, he also desired the 6-star Mother Nirvana stone very much. Otherwise, he would not have issued such a generous reward. However, it was a pity that the Tribal Grand Competition was just around the corner. Besides, this mission was extremely dangerous. Thus, the Shikong cultivators in the grassland of the southern border did not dare to take the risk for an innate soul-nourishing spiritual medicine. According to their understanding, the 6-star Mother Nirvana stones were usually guarded by extremely powerful ferocious beasts. Even the broken sense fragment would not be easy to obtain. Even though the reward for this mission was extremely high, the risk was also extremely high. A single mistake could cost one their life. Even that man who thought highly of himself firmly believed that without the cooperation of 3 late Shikong and peak Shikong cultivators, they would not be able to obtain the 6-star Mother Nirvana stone in this place. This mission is not bad. Now I will have 6 different types of innate soul-nourishing spiritual medicine. Ning Fan raised his hand and tore open the spatial formation of this place, and entered a secret space. The yin qi inside the space was extremely heavy. It was still a mine cave, but it was sealed together with the entire mine in this space. There were many skeletons outside the mine cave. Some of them were dressed in nomadic clothes while some of them were dressed in outer cultivators' clothes. All of them were skeletons from many years ago. As soon as they were touched, they would turn into ashes. The yin qi in this place is very heavy. However, the strange thing is that this mine cave is unlike the other mine caves that I have seen before where there are corpse devils. No, it's not that there aren't any corpse devils. It's just that the corpse devils in this place are too good at hiding. Early thought fragment realm. With Ning Fan's rain technique, he could directly sense the cultivation base of the corpse devils in this place. Just as he was about to sense the location where the corpse devils were hiding, a gust of chilly wind suddenly came from behind him. Ning Fan, who had just walked out of a mountain of corpses, and a sea of blood, naturally reacted extremely fast. Before the black shadow behind him could sneak attack him, his body had already turned into a ray of golden light. With a sudden leap, he appeared 100 steps away from where he was, and easily avoided the sneak attack. Crack, 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 crack. The one who sneak attacked Ning Fan was a fat corpse devil. Every time it moved, the chains on its body would collide with each other and produce a loud sound. The corpse devil's expression was numb and expressionless. After missing its attack, it directly pounced at Ning Fan. Ning Fan did not panic. He opened his mouth and breathed out the 11 darkness devil flames, causing the entire space to resound with the sound of wind and thunder. As the devil flames continued to burn, it turned into a sea of fire that covered the sky and engulfed the corpse devil. The corpse devil's spiritual intelligence was extremely low. It did not even try to dodge the devil flames. Instead, it allowed the devil flames to burn it completely. All of a sudden, its body emitted thousands of rays of Buddha light. It withstood the damage caused by the devil flames and rushed out of the sea of fire. This was quite impressive. Even though the power of the devil flames was greatly reduced due to the limitation of Ning Fan's cultivation base, it was still the 11 darkness devil flames after all. Its grade was very high. It was not something that any early thought fragmentation realm expert could withstand. However, this corpse devil just relied on the Buddha light to resist the devil flames with its physical body. This was enough to show how terrifying its physical body was. Even if this corpse devil's cultivation base had yet to reach the mid-thought fragmentation realm, it was probably not far away from it. As soon as the corpse devil got close to Ning Fan, it immediately swung its fist. The force of the punch shook heaven and earth, causing the entire space to become unstable. Ning Fan was not afraid at all. He was an ancient devil who had half a step into the 9th nirvana realm. If the opponent fights him with their physical bodies, why would he be afraid? Bang! When their fists collided, the sound of metal clashing resounded. It was enough to show the toughness of both their physical bodies. The tremendous force spread. Ning Fan took 10 steps back, while the corpse devil also took 10 steps back. With the protection of the Buddha light, the corpse devil did not suffer any damage from the collision of their fists. On the other hand, Ning Fan's fist bones were broken. In terms of physical strength, Ning Fan was almost on par with the corpse devil. However, the corpse devil's Buddha light ability was very powerful. Otherwise, the corpse devil would also suffer some injuries. Fortunately, black flames were immediately ignited on Ning Fan's fist and palm. Within the black flames, the corpse devil's injuries were almost healed in an instant. Then he clashed with the corpse devil's fists again. Boom boom boom. It was not that Ning Fan did not have a more powerful trump card to instantly kill the corpse devil. It was just that he was an ancient devil after all. He had the pride of an ancient devil in his bones. When the gap between their physical bodies was not huge, if he could not suppress his opponent with his ancient devil body, he would not be considered as a true ancient devil. Moreover, as they clashed with each other, Ning Fan unexpectedly discovered that the last step he needed to break through to the 9th nirvana heavenly devil realm was being filled up bit by bit. I see. Ning Fan was enlightened. The ancient devil lineage was fond of killing. They were born to be battle maniacs. The last step he lacked was not the difference in cultivation level. Instead, he needed to achieve a breakthrough in battle. This kind of breakthrough could not be achieved with the help of external forces. He needed to fight with his physical body and sharpen it to break through the last bottleneck. Hence, Ning Fan was no longer in a hurry even though he clearly had a more powerful method to kill the corpse devil. Instead, he decided to fight the corpse devil in this place until the space collapsed. Ning Fan had even forgotten his original purpose of coming to this place, which was to collect the 5 and 6-star Nirvana origin stones. This battle lasted for 3 days. During these 3 days, his ancient devil bloodline felt like it was burning. He could feel that he was getting closer to the 9th nirvana, heavenly devil realm every day. No matter how strong the defense of the corpse devil was, it was still a battle after all. Its injuries were getting worse bit by bit. Ning Fan, on the other hand, was different. Every time he was injured, he would be reborn from the blazing flames. As a result, the injuries of the corpse devil became more and more severe, while Ning Fan remained in his peak condition. Under such circumstances, the corpse devil was eventually killed by Ning Fan with just his physical body. As for Ning Fan, the moment he killed the corpse devil, he had completely broken through to the 9th nirvana of the heavenly devil realm. To Ning Fan, killing an early thought fragmentation realm expert was no longer a big deal. However, it was rare for him to kill the corpse devil with the physical body of an ancient devil without using his tribulation blood cultivation base, any magic treasures or the power of the Tao laws of Yin, Yang and Yang. Is this the power of the 9th nirvana of the heavenly devil realm? After breaking through naturally, Ning Fan could feel the increase in his physical body. It was quite terrifying. If he needed to fight that corpse devil for 3 days before breaking through to the 9th nirvana realm, he was confident that he could kill it within 2 hours after breaking through. When the battle ended, he realized that the space in this place had actually collapsed because of his attack. The ore mine had already been broken into pieces. The broken pieces of ores floated in the dark void space. It saved him the trouble of mining the ores. Ning Fan picked out 10 pieces of 6-star Nirvana origin stones from the countless broken ores and kept them. As for the remaining ores, he refined them and absorbed them. Because the grade of the Nirvana origin stones in this place was higher, it took Ning Fan a lot of time to refine them. He spent another 20 days or so before he finished refining them. The effect was also quite obvious. By relying on the chi of the Nirvana origin stones, Ningfan not only directly stabilized his 9 Nirvana Heavenly Devil Realm cultivation base, but also improved his Ancient Devil cultivation base by a little. It was almost 1% closer to the 10 Nirvana realm. This improvement was already very impressive. After all, it would be impossible for an ordinary ancient devil to achieve such a level of improvement without 10,000 years of arduous cultivation. From this, it could be seen how helpful the Nirvana origin stones of the Great Humble Clan was to body cultivators. After witnessing the effect of the high-grade Nirvana origin stones, Ningfan was quite tempted to search for other Nirvana origin stones. Unfortunately, he had spent too much time on this trip. The minor competition of the southern border was approaching. He could not afford to waste any more time in this place. Moreover, the southern border was too small. The strongest ominous zone in this place was only at the 4th grade. There were no ominous zones of a higher grade. Ningfan had already searched through all ominous zones below the 4th grade. Besides, the ominous zones near the southern border were too low grade. There were no innate spiritual herbs, let alone innate spiritual herbs that could replenish one's soul. This also made Ningfan feel a little helpless. If I have the time in the future, I'll go to other high-grade ominous zones. Ningfan stood up from the void space and decided to leave the space of this mineral vein. However, it took him quite a bit of effort to do so. The magnetic force of the ominous continent was very strange. It also made it extremely difficult for some hidden spaces to locate their original coordinates from the boundless void space and return to the outside world after they were broken. Of course, it was also difficult for the people in the outside world to find the coordinates and enter the place. Fortunately, Ningfan had the treasure-searching compass. There was nothing in this world that he could not search. After spending some effort, he managed to locate the point of intersection of the space. Finally, he managed to get out of this broken space. However, as soon as he got out of the outside world, he immediately noticed that there were 2 groups of people fighting nearby. The surrounding space was completely sealed. One could only enter but not leave. One of the 2 parties fighting were the man with the huge sword and the red-haired lady whom he had met in the evil goat tribe. On the other side, there were dozens of cultivators in black armor, who were emitting dense killing intent. They were besieging the 2 of them. On the side of the black-armored cultivators, the weakest among them was a true immortal realm cultivator at the Clear Truth realm. Among them, there were 3 peak-shedding void realm cultivators. As for the man with the huge sword and the red-haired lady, both of them were only at the peak-shedding void realm. At the moment, both of them were severely injured. Obviously, they were besieged by the black-armored cultivators. Due to the surrounding space being sealed, they could not even escape from this place. They had been fighting with their lives on the line for an unknown number of days. Ningfan's sudden appearance startled the group of black-armored cultivators. As for the red-haired lady, her eyes were filled with the desire to survive. She immediately changed her direction and ran towards Ningfan. She even shouted deliberately, "Don't worry, Junior Brother Ning. As a fellow mausoleum guardian of the Holy Mountain, quickly come and help senior sister kill the Triflame armored guard." As she shouted, she immediately ran behind Ningfan. The red-haired lady's shout and evasion had directly caused Ningfan to fall into the range of the black-armored cultivator's killing intent. Humph! Is this young man also a mausoleum guardian of the Holy Mountain? Kill him! Immediately, many of the black-armored cultivators changed their direction and surrounded Ningfan, not giving him a chance to explain at all. Ningfan's eyes turned slightly cold. Before he could figure out the situation, he seemed to have been dragged into the muddy water by the red-haired lady. "My name is Duolan. I am the daughter of the immortal emperor of the Holy Mountain. I know that you are an external cultivator of the Tamu sect. Since you have saved me once, I will definitely repay you handsomely." Duolan clenched her teeth. If it was not a matter of life and death, with her arrogant personality, she would definitely not lower herself to ask for help from others. Chapter 1003. Duolan, daughter of an immortal emperor, guardian of the sacred mountain. Triflame guards. Ningfan's eyes flickered. From the moment the lady asked for help to hiding behind him, She only said 2 sentences. However, these sentences contained a lot of information. She knew that he was an external cultivator of the Tamu sect. The force behind her was the guardian of the sacred mountain. She seemed to have the background of an immortal emperor. As for the black armored guards, they were the Triflame guards. This term was very unfamiliar to Ningfan. It was his first time hearing about it after entering the Great Humble Tribe. However, it was not his first time meeting the Triflame guards. He had met them a few times before, and he could vaguely tell that they were very hostile towards the so-called guardian of the sacred mountain. If there were no accidents, the relationship between the Triflame guards and the guardian of the sacred mountain was very likely to be hostile. According to Ningfan's original intention, he did not want to offend either party since he had just entered the Great Humble Tribe, and was not clear about the situation of the sacred mountain and the Triflame guards. Even if the red-haired lady wanted to drag him into the muddy water, it would depend on whether he was willing to do it or not. Seeing the few Triflame guards coming at him from all directions, Ningfan took a few steps back to avoid their attacks while explaining calmly, "I'm an external cultivator of the Tamu sect. I'm not the guardian of the sacred mountain. I don't know these 2 people and I have no intention to interfere in your dispute." As he moved backwards, he naturally left Duolan, who was seeking protection, behind. He did not intend to save her at all. As soon as Duolan saw that Ningfan actually abandoned her and was unwilling to help her, she was both shocked and annoyed. If they were in the sacred mountain, there were almost no men who would reject her request with her beauty. However, the man in front of her was so cold and indifferent. He actually ignored her beauty. What a man who doesn't know how to be kind to women. At this moment, her magic power was almost depleted. Even if she were to face Du Jun's joint attack, she would still be in great danger. She gritted her teeth and no longer cared that her warm face was stuck to the cold buttocks. She followed closely behind Ningfan and retreated together with him. Wherever Ningfan went, she would hide there as she was afraid that she would be besieged by the black armored guards again. This man is an immortal revered throughout the ages. Even if his cultivation base was sealed by Xingxing, there was no need for him to be so afraid of a few Du Jun and Shikong. Saving a beauty should be as easy as flipping his palm to him. However, he was not willing to help her. It was either he was not capable enough or he was extremely cowardly. Of course, it was also possible that this person was extremely cautious and was unwilling to interfere in the conflict between the sacred mountain and the 3 flames. But didn't this person know that as an external cultivator, if he wanted to establish a foothold in Debay, he had to make a choice between the 2? It was impossible to remain neutral. With that in mind, Duolan hid behind Ningfan's back and intentionally misled the guard's judgment. "Junior apprentice brother, are you still blaming senior apprentice sister? Why aren't you willing to admit your identity as the gravekeeper? Or could it be that junior martial brother is extremely afraid of the Triflame guards and only wants to escape alone, unwilling to save senior martial sister?" He had actually made up his mind to drag Ningfan into this mess. If you want to play it safe, you have to see if I, Doran, will agree." The black armored guard sneered and ignored Ningfan's explanation. They continued to attack Ningfan's with murderous intents and magical treasures. Ningfan glared at Duolan fiercely and explained to the black armored guards again, "I am indeed not the tomb guardian of the holy mountain. If you don't believe me, you can check the punishment ring in my body. Don't kill the wrong person." Only 1 or 2 of the black armored guards slowed down their attacks, as if they really wanted to check the authenticity of the punishment ring. But more of the black armored guards' attacks became fiercer. Some of them even sneered. He is just an external cultivator. It doesn't matter if I kill the wrong person. It is no different from killing cattle, sheep, pigs and dogs. There is no need to check your punishment ring. This person might not have nothing to do with the tomb guardian of the holy mountain. It is not enough to make a clean break with just a few words. Quickly kill this person and use his head as a reward. Even if this person is not the tomb guardian, I am afraid that he is related to Duolan. We must not let him go. The arrogant attitude of the black armored guards made Ningfan's expression turn cold. It seemed that no matter how he explained today's matter, he would still be involved in this mess. It was all because of that woman called Duolan. I don't want to become enemies with all of you. Do you really have to do it? Ning Fan's tone became cold. Boom, boom, boom. What answered him was the frenzied attack of the black armored guards. These people had made up their minds. They would rather kill 3,000 innocent people today than to let Ning Fan go unjustly. As such, Ning Fan was too lazy to talk nonsense with these black armored guards. Even though he was worried about befriending the Great Humble Clan, it would be a different story if the black armored guards kept forcing him. Even though he did not like to be used as a tool, he had no choice but to use it now that things had come to this. Besides, this place was located in the ominous region, which was extremely remote. As long as he killed all of them and cut off the karma, no one would know that he had killed the Triflame guards in the future. He might not necessarily become enemies with the Great Humble Clan. When the black armored guards saw that Ning Fan did not dare to fight back, they became even more arrogant. They wanted to attack again, but all of a sudden, their expressions changed drastically. Ning Fan's eyes glinted with cold light. He no longer retreated or dodged. No matter how the attacks landed on his body, they were instantly drowned in the blinding light. This person must be crazy. He actually dares to take our attacks head-on. One of the black armored guards harumphed disdainfully. However, at the next moment, his disdain turned into astonishment and then into fear. A human figure slowly walked out from the blinding light. He completely ignored their attacks. None of the attacks could break the defense of his physical body. The strength of his physical body shocked the Duzhen guards. This was the strength of a 9th Nirvana heavenly devil. Ordinary attacks from Duzhen could not even break the defense of his physical body. Ning Fan's figure flashed and appeared in front of a black armored guard. Even though he did not move at his full speed, he was already like a ghost in the eyes of a mere Duzhen guard. That black armored guard did not even have the time to react, and his chest was already hit by Ning Fan's fist. Under the tremendous force, the black armor on his body crumbled almost instantly. This kind of crumbling was not an ordinary kind of crumbling. Instead, it was a kind of destruction on the level of law. Then, even his physical body exploded into a mist of blood in an instant. It was so shattered that it could not be any more shattered. Naturally, he died. Even his primordial spirit could not escape. What a terrifying physical body. A casual punch from this person is actually stronger than many acquired magic treasures. The other Duzhen guards were shocked. They immediately retreated. How could they not know that Ning Fan was a tough opponent that Duzhen could not match? Unfortunately, it was a little too late for them to retreat now. Ning Fan's figure flashed and disappeared without a trace. Almost at the same time, the few Duzhen's black armored guards who were retreating hurriedly felt chills running down their spines. A black shadow flashed past their eyes, but none of them could see the movements of the black shadow clearly. Before they could even react, they were already hit by waves of tremendous force. One after another, their bodies exploded and their blood splattered across the sky. The shocking turn of events immediately attracted the attention of the other black armored guards. The expressions of the three peak-shedding void realm old men darkened. As a matter of fact, the three of them had already noticed Ning Fan the moment he appeared. However, none of them paid any attention to him. None of them expected that this seemingly cowardly external cultivator would actually dare to attack the Triflame guards and kill them. How dare a mere external cultivator kill our Triflame guards? You must pay with your life. Thunder Soul Transformation Bow. One of the black-armored old men was so angry that he laughed. As soon as he gave the order, he led a dozen of his Triflame guards and rushed towards Ning Fan. When he got close to Ning Fan, he rubbed his hands together. Immediately, purple light gathered in his palms and turned into a small thunderbolt bow. The small bow was not a physical object. Instead, it was formed by the power of his medicine soul. The medicine soul was the unique ability of a pill refinement master. If a pill refinement master was proficient in the battle soul technique, he or she could merge the power of his medicine soul into his ability. This was what the cultivators of the Great Humble Clan were best at. Soul fusion. The dozen of Duzhen guards behind the black-armored old man roared at the same time. They released their medicine souls and merged them into the old man's body. All of a sudden, the black-armored old man's cultivation base rose rapidly. In just a short period of time, he had already reached the early thought fragmentation realm. The lightning on the small thunderbolt bow in his hand became even brighter. Fire from lightning in the sky. Lightning sacrificial arrow fire. The black-armored old man drew his bow and shot it. Immediately, a scarlet flame wrapped around the bow, and it turned into a fire arrow that shot towards Ningfan. The fire arrow was surrounded by lightning arcs. It carried the might of lightning and fire. It vaguely connected with the great momentum of heaven and earth, causing the temperature of heaven and earth to rise abruptly. Those Dujin guards could not withstand the might of the arrow. After they merged their souls, they immediately retreated in a hurry. The black-armored old man looked at the arrow light in the sky confidently. This technique was his strongest trump card. It had once helped him severely injure an early thought fragmentation realm expert, with his peak-shedding void realm cultivation base. Ningfan's eyes also turned slightly serious. However, that was all. His opponent's soul fusion secret technique was very strange. It could actually increase one's cultivation base within a short period of time, by stacking their medicine souls. It was quite mysterious. This arrow might really be able to injure an ordinary early thought fragmentation realm expert. However, it was far from enough to hurt him. Facing the incoming arrow, Ningfan directly waved his devil palm and grabbed the light of the lightning arrow. He was not afraid of the sharpness of the arrow at all. This young man is courting death. The black-armored old man smiled disdainfully, as if it was responding to the black-armored old man's words. The lightning fire in Ningfan's palm suddenly trembled like a lightning snake. All of a sudden, it shot out countless lightning arcs and struck Ningfan's body. The power of the lightning arcs was quite impressive. However, with the strength of Ningfan's physical body, he only felt a slight numbness when the lightning arcs hit him. It was not enough to break the defense of his physical body. This was the result of him not using the Tai Su lightning star. If he used it, he would not even feel a slight numbness. Ningfan's face showed no mercy. He exerted his palm force and shattered the lightning arrow in his palm. As the essence chi around his body circulated, the ancient devil might was released without any reservation. Towering devil chi pressed down like countless dark clouds. As the devil might continued to rise to its peak, Ningfan let out a devil roar. This roar contained all the power of the heavenly devil nine nirvana. Roar. The ancient devil roar was also a great offensive technique. There was only one roar. However, when it reverberated in heaven and earth, it turned into 10 roars and then into 100 roars. In an instant, there were tens of thousands of roars reverberating in the air, shaking the heavens. It did not sound like a human's roar. Instead, it sounded like the roar of a wild beast or a landslide. It sounded like the blood of an ancient devil was flowing in reverse. The black-armored old man felt an unparalleled devil sense blasting into his ears. As soon as he heard it, he felt as if he had suffered a heavy blow. He was sent flying backwards while coughing out blood. His ears were buzzing and his blood even showed signs of flowing in reverse. He could barely hold the lightning bow in his hand. His expression when he looked at Ningfan was filled with astonishment for the first time. The devil roar swept across the area like a drop of black ink falling on a piece of white paper in heaven and earth. It spread in all directions crazily. Behind the black-armored old man, a few of the 3 flame guards whose cultivation base was only at the Dujin realm, had their sea of consciousness shattered by Ningfan's roar. They screamed and died. The remaining Dujin also coughed out blood. Even though he did not die, his sea of consciousness was severely damaged. It was difficult for him to even maintain his flight. In the distance, the man with the huge sword was being besieged by dozens of black-armored guards. The devil roar appeared without any warning. Before the 2 parties who were fighting each other could react, each of them coughed out blood due to the impact of the roar. It was simply an indiscriminate attack. Even the red-haired lady named Duolan could not escape from the attack of the devil roar. Her body, which was already extremely weak in the first place, was actually severely injured by the roar. The devil roar continued to sweep across the area, setting off countless sound waves and colliding with the restriction that sealed heaven and earth. That was a restriction that not even a peak-shedding void cultivator could break. However, it directly crumbled under Ningfan's roar. The seal of this place was lifted. An ancient devil. It's actually a ninth nirvana heavenly devil. The black-armored old man who was holding the lightning bow was filled with astonishment. This is the roar of an ancient devil. There's no mistaking it. Only the ancient devil clan would have such a domineering and ferocious devil roar. If Ningfan was just an ancient devil, it would not be enough to scare him. The key was that Ningfan's ancient devil cultivation base had at least reached the ninth nirvana heavenly devil realm. A ninth nirvana heavenly devil was no longer someone who could be defeated by an ordinary early thought fragmentation realm cultivator. The elderly man with the lightning bow was not really at the early thought fragmentation realm. He had just used the soul fusion secret technique to temporarily raise his cultivation base to this level. Moreover, the increase in his cultivation base only lasted for a moment. At this moment, his cultivation base had already fallen back to the peak-shedding void cultivator, and he even felt a little weak. It was the side effect of the soul fusion secret technique. They, the three flame guards, had only sent out a total of 3 peak-shedding void cultivators. Even if they joined forces, they still might not be a match for this ninth nirvana heavenly devil. However, even if they could not defeat him, they still had to face him head-on. Killing the tomb guardian of the holy mountain was their mission. If they failed, they would also die. Kill. The 3 black-armored old men who were at the peak-shedding void cultivator gave the same order, at almost the same time. Each of the fearless black-armored guards ignited their primordial spirits, wanting to fight Ningfan to the death. All of them went to besiege Ningfan. This was a chance for the 2 tomb guardians of the holy mountain. At this moment, there were only a few dozen black-armored guards who were fighting against the man with the huge sword. The man with the huge sword had a cultivation base at the peak-shedding void cultivator after all. Even though he had been besieged for many days and his body was weak, he still managed to break through the blockade of a few dozen black-armored guards with great effort. Then he rode on a ray of light and ran away. Duolan, who was hiding not far behind Ningfan, also took the opportunity to run away. Especially Duolan. After hearing Ningfan's indiscriminate devil roar, she had a clearer understanding of Ningfan's coldness and ruthlessness. If her cultivation base was slightly weaker, she would probably have been killed by the devil roar just now, just like those unlucky Triflame guards. From this point, she could tell that Ningfan did not plan to save them at all. He was even more indifferent towards her pleas for help just now. Otherwise, he could have used other abilities to hurt his enemies instead of using this devil roar, which could not differentiate between friend and foe. No, it was not that he could not differentiate between friend and foe. It was because Ningfan had regarded all the cultivators in this place as his enemies. The Triflame guards wanted to kill him. Therefore, they were his enemies. Duolan had plotted against him and forcefully dragged him into the muddy water. Therefore, she was also regarded as his enemy. Duolan suddenly understood this point. Ridiculous. This is just too ridiculous. With her beauty, identity, and status, not only did she not receive any help from a mere external cultivator, she even became his enemy. This person was plotted against by me first. That's why he views me as his enemy. Now that he has already killed the Triflame guards, it's not certain that he won't make a move against us Tomb Guardians. Thinking of this, Duolan did not dare to stay any longer in this place. She hurriedly ran away together with the man with the huge sword. 41 Triflame guards. 2 Tomb Guardians of the Sacred Mountain. Seeing that Duolan and the man with the huge sword had escaped, Ningfan's eyes slightly narrowed. However, he decided to ignore them for the time being. Facing the ferocious attacks of the black-armored guards, Ningfan remained expressionless. He lifted one of his feet and took a step in the sky. His entire body turned into a ray of golden light and disappeared from his original spot. In an instant, he appeared near the black-armored guards one after another. Most of the black-armored guards who were at the true enlightenment realm could not even withstand a single punch or kick from him. In just 10 breaths of time, there were only 3 peak-shedding void realm black-armored old men left. Another 20 breaths of time passed. Even the 3 black-armored old men had died in Ningfan's hands. Killing these black armored guards did not give Ningfan a sense of accomplishment. However, what surprised him was that these Triflame guards were extremely unyielding, even when the last one of them died in battle, and they were suppressed by his ancient devil might. They did not have the slightest intention of retreating or begging for mercy until the last one of them died in battle. Ningfan would not hesitate to praise those cultivators who dared to fight to the death even if they were his enemies. Unfortunately, enemies were still enemies. In the path of life and death, he naturally would not show any mercy to them. After searching through the memories of the 3 black-armored old men, Ningfan finally had a deeper understanding of the matters of the Great Humble Tribe. It turned out that the entire Great Humble Tribe was divided into 3 parts. The cultivators of the major tribes of the Great Humble Tribe were the descendants of the herb slaves of the herb-gatherer saint. The tomb guardians of the sacred mountain were the descendants of the herb-gatherer saint, Good Corpse. The Triflame guards were the descendants of the herb-gatherer saint, Evil Corpse. In terms of status, all the cultivators of the Great Humble Tribe were just slaves, while the tomb guardians and the Triflame guards were the true masters of the entire inner area of the holy region. In the past, I only thought that the purpose of befriending the Great Humble Tribe was to befriend those tribes. Now it seems like I'm wrong. The real decision-makers of the Great Humble Tribe are not the leaders of those tribes, or the 5 emperors of the Middle Province. Instead, they are the 2 great forces of the Triflame Guards. The Holy Mountain is the sacred land of the Great Humble Prairie. It was formed by the will of the saint after his death. The Triflame Guards are the collective name of the 3 10th-grade fierce domains in the Great Humble Tribe. There are only 3 10th-grade fierce domains in the Great Humble Tribe, and all of them are the territories of the Triflame Guards. The Triflame Guards and the Holy Mountain have been enemies since ancient times. If an outsider wants to enter the Great Humble Tribe, he or she must choose one of the 2 sides to join. This is the rule of the Great Humble Tribe. Otherwise, both sides will become enemies. Most of the tribes in the entire Great Humble Tribe are affiliated to the Holy Mountain. The Tamu tribe that I belong to is also affiliated to the Holy Mountain. Therefore, my action of joining the Tamu tribe is equivalent to choosing the camp of the Holy Mountain. This is something that cannot be changed after I join the Tamu tribe. It's not difficult to cover up the fact that I killed the Triflame Guards. After all, the lives of the Triflame Guards are even more worthless than grass in the Triflame Guards. Their numbers are even greater. Therefore, very few people would care about their deaths. Besides, the activity range of the Triflame Guards is limited to the fierce domain. They never go out. Thus, it's not a big deal to offend the Triflame Guards. On the other hand, there are not many cultivators in the Holy Mountain. The death of any one of them will cause countless experts of the Holy Mountain to investigate this matter. Ningfan's mind raced. His original intention was to kill Duolan and the man with the huge sword at the same time. However, it seemed like such an action was a little inappropriate now. It could easily lead to more unforeseen events. After all, when an ordinary mausoleum guardian dies, there would be a lot of people who would investigate it, let alone that woman called Duolan. In the memory of the Triflame Guards, Duolan's position in the Holy Mountain was rather special. It's ominous to kill these 2 people. However, I can't let them go so easily either. No matter what, they have to pay a price for plotting against me. Ningfan released his devil flames and destroyed the corpses of the Triflame Guards. Then, he used a technique to disrupt the karma of the killings in this place. Only then did he go after Duolan and the man with the devil flames. Even though the Triflame Guards rarely investigate the deaths of their members, he still decided to be more careful. The man with the huge sword whose name was Pai Xiong was currently fleeing desperately with the Saintess Duolan. Junior sister, is it really necessary for us to flee in such a hurry? Even though that external cultivator with the surname Ning is strong, he is still restricted by the damage ring after all. He might not be able to kill all the Triflame Guards in a short period of time. He might also not dare to continue chasing after us after killing all of them. Since he came out from the space of the mine, he must have found some 6-star Nirvana origin stones. After all, we are the mausoleum guardians of the Holy Mountain. If we force him to give it to us, I don't think he will dare to refuse. Even the reward for the mission can be omitted. Of course, that is unless he wants to offend the cultivators of the holy mountain. Pai Xiong said with a hint of disdain. He did not think that an external cultivator would have the guts to provoke the holy mountain. He was determined to get the 6-star Nirvana origin stones. Senior brother, you're wrong. This external cultivator with the surname Ning isn't weak. On the contrary, he is extremely unyielding. In the beginning, the reason why he showed weakness to the Triflame guards was probably because he wanted to enter Debay with an ulterior motive. Because of that, he was very cautious and did not want to offend any forces of Debay. Later on, when he realized that his explanation did not make sense, he immediately attacked the Triflame guards without any hesitation. Since he is so decisive in killing, why would he care about the name of the holy mountain? If such a person decides to attack us, he will definitely not leave any of the Triflame guards alive. This kind of person is the most ruthless and the most cautious. In order to conceal this matter completely, he might even kill all of us to keep our mouths shut. Now, I just want to escape from his evil clutches, but you're still thinking about his 6-star Nirvana origin stones. You're really? Duolan laughed out of anger. This senior brother of mine is too shallow. If it wasn't for his cultivation aptitude, he definitely wouldn't be qualified to become a mausoleum guardian of the holy mountain. Why is he still thinking about that 6-star Nirvana origin stone at such a time? Does he not want his life anymore? This external cultivator with the surname Ning's cultivation base is limited. However, he is still an immortal venerable in the ancient times. It definitely won't take him too long to kill a few Duzhen Shekongs. We don't have much time left. We must leave this place as soon as possible to be safe. If he catches up to us, it will be too late for regrets. Duolan continued. At this moment, her heart was filled with regret. If she had known that Ning Fan was a strong-willed person, even if she wanted to ask him for help, she would not use such a scheming method and directly drag him to the opposite side of the Triflame guards. Such a petty scheme must have angered this external cultivator. Forget it. Anyway, I can use his strength to escape from this place. It's better for me to leave this place as soon as possible. Don't blame senior brother for talking too much. Junior sister, you always like to make a big fuss over nothing. No matter how daring that external cultivator with the surname Ning is, he won't dare to attack us. Speaking of which, this external cultivator with the surname Ning is indeed hateful. You have already lowered your voice and begged him for help. Not only did he not save you, but he also let out a devil roar and attacked us indiscriminately, causing our injuries to worsen. Humph. If it wasn't for the closed tomb period, I, Pai Xiong, could easily summon a large group of cultivators from the holy mountain to teach this person a lesson with my status. Pai Xiong snorted coldly. Just as his voice fell, a thunderous sound suddenly resounded in front of them. A ray of golden light streaked across the sky. Within the golden light, a person slowly walked out and blocked the path of Pai Xiong and Duolan. Not good. Duolan's beautiful face turned pale. The person who caught up to them was none other than Ning Fan, who was emitting baleful qi, and had a ruthless expression on his face. Do you want to teach me a lesson? I'll give you a chance. You can teach me a lesson right now. Make your move. A monstrous ancient devil aura turned into a monstrous devil cloud and pressed down on Pai Xiong, causing him to spurt out blood. His arrogant eyes were filled with fear. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.